It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. Your girl Jackie is at jury duty, which is a funny thought.
She gets jury duty more than any.
I know.
I don't think either the government doesn't know where I live or
Okay.
I've never gotten jury duty.
I can't figure this out. Either I have just taken, I throw out a lot of mail.
Yeah.
I have some sort of super childish, immature procrastination, whatever you want to, like fear. Like if I see the mail, I'm like, this is something I have to address. But not right now.
Yeah.
I throw out everything. So when it's like, we sent you a notice of this, I'm like, no, you didn't. Like if I didn't open it, you didn't send it to me.
Yeah.
So I throw out a lot of shit. So I don't know if that's the case, if they just have not requested me, or part of me has at least heard, or maybe I concocted this in my own mind, that if you haven't registered to vote, they don't get you.
Oh.
And I never registered. So whatever it is, I have never, to my best of my knowledge, I've even been asked to do jury duty.
I think I got one in Massachusetts years ago.
Did you go?
No, like it went to like my parents' house and they were like, you got this.
The notice, yeah.
And
yeah.
I was like, just ignore it.
I also wonder, like, would we get on a jury? Would it be like your job is like precludes you or some shit like that?
I don't think because
I always hear
definitively dismissed. Because I know Dave's been on it and he wasn't dismissed because of
Barstool.
He was Dave Portnoy. He was dismissed because like I think if I remember correctly, this was like we were still in Milton, and I think he went and it was something along the lines of they were like, if you miss 3 days of work, like will your business remain? And he was like, no.
Well, it's interesting because they just
it was something along those lines. I forget.
They pushed back Diddy's trial because like 16 of the prospective jurors said that they saw the video, and that taints them. Which everybody saw that video, so that's gonna be hard to find.
The Cassie one,
yeah. And B, I think they should see the video.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty important piece of information that, like, it's almost like if you haven't seen the video, you got to go.
Yeah.
I guess that whole case is weird, man. There is, I've heard some rumblings, but they're from, like, podcasters and influencers who I think are a little bit pro Diddy, who are, like, from the hip-hop world and I think want him to get off, so I don't know whether it's reliable or not. But there's, like, rumblings
who could want him to get off? Like that's different than you believe he's innocent. Who wants him to get off?
Well. So their point was, I think their point was like it's one of those like what the charges actually are and like all that shit is really not a slam. Like if it was an abuse, like you hit her case, there's a video, like I think you're done.
Right.
But all that other shit, like I think Diddy's defense is like when they're talking about human trafficking, he's like, I do a lot of freaky, weird sex stuff. But like these people, like, and so I fly people in, I fly them out, but like I'm not trafficking. You know what I mean? So like
that's what
I mean. Don't get me wrong, I'm not defending him. I think everything is true, and I think he's a liar. But like, it's not as slam dunk as
it's
people
the same thing
probably think it is, because it's all about the other, the intricacies of it all.
It's the same thing as the Kraft thing. Like when Kraft got caught, and the headline was Robert Kraft involved in sex trafficking ring. It's like, no, he got a hand job
from someone who might be illegal.
You know what I mean? I'm wearing a pair of Adidas. I'm not fucking a part of child slave labor.
Right.
I don't even know if Adidas is, but
I thought you were going to go the Nazi route with the Adidas. Go Nike with the.
Most of the things we wear are made by people in poor conditions. I'm not part of that ring. I'm just purchasing what they fucking made.
Right. Speaking of that, I texted Pabs and I texted you as well. I mean,
I don't know what we're talking about.
The beat of Kanye's new song is fire. And I don't know. I guess this song, I don't even like to even talk about it, but Kanye's latest song, Heil Hitler, I don't even know if it's, I can't imagine it's actually on Spotify and DSPs and all that, right?
They're not going to allow that. There's no way.
But it's on, I guess, YouTube, or he tweeted it or whatever. And I didn't even listen to it at first because I was like, I am not even, like, I've had this ongoing thing with Kanye. Like, do I take the bait? Do I not? And then I told myself I'm going to take it for entertainment value. But then I still have a line where, like, I am not going to promote or listen to or enjoy a song called Heil Hitler. beat's fire.
I haven't heard it.
Dude,
I'm sure he's a great fucking producer.
Yeah, but I feel like Kanye even said, like, in his mind, I think he was like, I'm gonna put out a Kanye beat, because I don't even think a lot of his new shit has been that good. This beat I think is his best beat since like All of the Lights or some shit.
This is his best troll yet. Because is this the same song as about him singing about sucking his cousin's dick?
I don't think so.
Because that's a different one that I heard.
think so.
And like a very famous producer is producing it live with him, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop and watch this. And like,
it's tough.
Like,
you know what? I honestly
look, dude. Fantasia was fucking good, right?
Yeah.
Was that?
I mean, just show Walt Disney.
Oh, well,
this
is the classic.
Fantasia was good. The Mercedes is a well-built machine.
Hugo Boss suits.
But this is his best troll yet, because of course he's like, now I'm gonna give them exactly what they want.
Well, that is what is like. It's all such scumbaggery, but like, you know what? There is an element of interesting of like, I wish it wasn't so obviously hateful or whatever. If it was something else that was like, I'm gonna make a topic that makes people uncomfortable, but I'm gonna put like my musical genius behind it and fuck with people. But it's like so far that I'm not gonna like play this. But I'm just like, the music of it is like, I was like, oh man, he did it there. The words are like trash and like the lyrics are bad. Not on top of being offensive, they're also like not very good. But the beat is fucking sick. But it's I was like, I'm not doing. You know what somebody should do? Is like a Jewish person should make like a pro-Jewish song over that beat.
Yeah.
I would do it if I you gotta be Jewish. Yeah. I would like, I'm gonna go do like some AI. I'll have like a rapper voice and I'll like, write about all the awesome things about Jewish people over that beat. It would be fucking to the top.
What is your list of awesome people?
That's what I can't do.
I'll write a list about how awesome Judaism is.
You'll see me this week on the Chicken Show.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man. Yo, the Chicken Show is next, bro. It is next up. I have not done a show that fun, maybe ever. And since the Are You Garbage, my first Are You Garbage appearance.
What is the... Sorry.
Why would you talk? Get it out first.
I thought I was going to lose it.
Yeah.
What is the premise of the show?
No premise. No premise. It's 3 older Jewish gentlemen. And
1, 2, 3,
and just about the
Kevin over the Heil Hitler beat, just like the Chicken Show's awesome.
It's 3 Jewish guys who are probably 80 years old and probably the most attractive female I've ever seen in real life. And they're doing like an Eric Andre late night talk show thing. I was on episode number 7. The one I saw was Anthony Weiner, was episode 1. And I was like, this is like a fever dream.
Dude, I actually saw Weiner recently. I'm sure it was on this. I just never like investigated it further. I was just like, oh, Weiner's back out there.
Yeah. I did a 1 Minute Man on it because I was like, this is
that
Weiner.
Must be where
this
I
is
saw
Weiner's like, return to the media. And then I know Grill Guy did an episode. That's how I got plugged in. Grill Guy was friends with the producer. So the producer he helped create Bob Does Sports, Robbie Berger's thing, and then another show as well, which are, obviously they're fucking thriving, right? And like his latest one is like, I don't know how he fucking linked up with 3 Jewish guys. Like, so the host looks exactly like Albert Einstein. And he is the star of the Instagram account Old Jewish Men. And it started out just kind of like old Jewish men, like here's an awesome old Jewish guy. Here's Cat's Deli, all this awesome Jewish shit. That's what I would just make my rap song about, the Old Jewish men account. And then it's like his 2 buddies, and they just like, I walk in and they served me. It's the chicken show, so you get served a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah,
and then they just like pepper you with like inappropriate questions and fuck with you. And I obviously was like, fucking with them right back. They took my blood pressure at one point. I don't know why. Just like true madness that like, I don't think there's enough of that. Like where it's just like, let's actually have fun.
Yeah.
But I will say this at the same time, the fuck the Jews Mo Khan story came up, and they were honest questions. So I was like half of it was me being like talking about like legitimate anti-Semitism, and then they'd be like, blow a whistle and bring me a chicken. This is fucking madness. But those guys were
that comes
really
out this
awesome.
week?
I believe so. They told me. I think it's for this week.
I'm gonna watch that show.
Oh, bro, I want. It's reminiscent to me of Are You Garbage when it was like I think Kate did it and then Roan did it and like then it kind of made its way through Barstool. I want everybody to go on this because it was like. The world needs more of this, like truly not taking it serious, just fucking around, doing whatever. And this girl, her name's Emily Janes. I mean, I walked in, I was like, what is going on? I like stopped the show and I was like, blink twice if you need to get out of here. Like, what is happening? I'm sure she has, some billionaire boyfriend who's probably like, what'd you do today? What?
Emily what?
Emily Janes, Janes. Australian accent, like just bombshell, looks like Adriana Lima, but also was like fucking around with me and these three old men. You know what I mean? So she was a highlight of it, and then these guys just. I told them I was like, listen, I know you probably think this is the first time I've done this, but Cousin Mike and Cousin Murray have paved the way. Those guys walk so you could run. So I've done content with old Jewish men before. So that show comes out this week, and I was like, this is the internet. Like as we stray more and more away from that, let's get back. We need some people out there just fucking with you and. They had like a list of questions that just like none of it made sense. Just ridiculous. And then what was funny was after the show, because I was giving it back to them pretty well. So it didn't get like testy, but it was definitely like at one point, like he had his feet up on the desk and I like put my feet up and kicked his off, just like fucking around. And then afterwards, they definitely were like, hey, you were a great sport. That was good. But it wasn't like okay, now we can be normal. Like it was still kind of madness afterwards. And I was like, Is this actually real? I don't know. It's like you guys are keeping kayfabe up pretty fucking well. So that'll be out this week. The producer of it was at the Midnight Bean launch party, which was last week, which ended up, by the way, I closed the party out with me and a couple other guys. We're the only ones left for the Knicks game, which down the stretch was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, I woke up the next morning. I was like, oh, the Celtics blew it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like. We had the upstairs of American Whiskey. Everybody partied up there, and then everybody left at like it was from 6 to 8, which is like a happy hour party. And then so the game was ending around 9. So I was like the only person left there just going bonkers, man. That was, but then that game 3 changed the tone a little bit.
I think
I was saying
crazy
that
as a Knicks fan to think that they were going to do it again. Like you're out of your mind.
I definitely so I got tickets from Gametime to go to game 3 because it was 3:30 matinee playoff game in New York, up 2. But in a weird way, I almost was like, I wish they weren't up 2 because you're not winning 3 in a row. I didn't think they, I was hoping they weren't going to get their dicks blown off the way that they did. But I was like, you're not winning 3 in a row on this team. And then the way that they did lose makes you be like, you might lose 3 in a row right now.
Well, that's what I was saying in the gambling cave. I was like, I was kind of busting everyone's balls at first because the Celtics went up 10 quick or whatever it was. And I was like, do you guys just not even pay attention until you're down 20?
Yeah.
And they were like...
it felt like I want, the jokes started, everyone around me in my section was like, as soon as we were down by 20 in the third, it was like, all right, it was earlier than that in this case, but it was like, we got it right where we want them.
Yeah.
Like the 20-point lead, here we go. And then it went to like 30, and then it went to like 35. And I was like, I think this one's over.
Well, because there is a part of that is like, Patriots fans where it was like we just don't even pay attention to the AFC Championship. It's like we're not even going to pay attention until we're down 20. Like that's when we lock in.
Yeah, but Tom Brady is. But like and Jalen Brunson really is like a superstar who like could at any moment bring you back down from 20 against anybody, anytime, anywhere. But the rest of that team is not exactly like you can't rest on your laurels. You know what I mean?
The part that seems to be is going to be repetitive is the part of going down 20. Yeah. Whether or not you can make the part of coming back from down 20 regular, who knows? But
the thing is, I mean, when they shot like 65% from 3,
they went 20 for 40.
So okay, at one point, I mean, for a while, it was like 65% for like a big chunk of that game. And I was like, I don't care what happened before or after, what the matchups are, 1 seed, 8 seed, 10 seed. If you shoot 50% from 3, like you're gonna fucking win that game.
Yeah.
But it is funny. There was a few buckets early on that like literally like I've never seen an NBA team have. It was like brrr, like roll around and out like 2 or 3 threes early on, and that it's like it kind of just changes the whole complexion. If there was 3 more threes that rolled in, 9 points right there. You know, it's a whole different battle. But yeah, that was. I left the game. We left early because my kids were, you know, kind of running out of gas, and they wanted to come to the office. They think that the office is Disney World. They're like, "Can we go to your office?" They kept going. Do you still have whiteboards at the office? And I was like, I can get you whiteboards. I'm trying to figure out how to create a basketball court in my backyard. I'm like, do I just have to get you whiteboards?
Wait till we tell you about what school was like. You guys are go fucking nuts.
And like, I mean, I guess when you think about some of the dumb shit that's floating around, like Keegan grabbed a football and a baseball bat, and I'm pretty sure there's that giant rubber arm, which I think is a fisting.
It's a fist.
Sure. Yeah, he was playing with that.
That is a Riley Reid fisting.
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is awesome." He put it on. I was like,
"Yeah, nah, he's right. You got a good head on his shoulders. That thing is fucking awesome." I
have pictures of him doing like I was like, I guess it's better to touch the inside than the outside. Yeah. It's like, Pat, get your toys. Pat also has a pump action bug shooting dick gun that I like quickly hid under the desk because I'm sure any gun he was gonna be like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
Showed him Ken Jack's katana. So it's like, you know what? Maybe this place is pretty cool.
This place does rock.
There are moments where, you know, you feel like you've done a good job raising your kids, and there are moments where you feel like you've done a bad job. I pulled out a sword, and I told him, like, you have to be careful with this. And he immediately just went to grab the blade. And I was like, maybe you're a fucking idiot. Maybe we need to go back to school and figure some things out here. It's like, just don't grab the blade of a sword.
It's a sharp one, too.
Yeah. It'll chop your fucking fingers right off, man. I almost got us in trouble. I didn't even think of this, but, you know, when we walked in, I brought the kids over to say hello, and I immediately got a text being like, DraftKings, no kids on stream allowed. I was like, oh, shit, my bad. But I thought that would have been funny to... I was hoping we could all sit together for a little bit and have the kids on the electric chair, but no legal, not allowed. But yeah, so we leave. We come to the office. I stupidly did not time it. Like, if you're gonna leave the game early, at least make sure you get out of there so you don't hit the traffic. I parked in the garage right next to the garden. We come to the office. I realize by the time I look down, it's the end of the fourth. I'm like, fuck, we are leaving right now with the entire stadium. And it took me 1 hour to just get out of the garage. And as we were just sitting in stopped traffic to go down the ramps, I can see through the back window of the car in front of me to the front where you put your phone if you have like a holder.
Yeah.
And it's fucking Portnoy. Someone was scrolling through videos of Dave, and I could see Dave being like, I was like, this is just, I was furious. The dad inside of me was so mad. Like the ultimate thing for dads is beating the traffic and parking the right way and making sure you get out on time. And I totally botched it. And the kids are getting cranky, and I don't want to sit in the car. I was like, we're not going to get home for like 2 hours because I fucked this up. And then I just see Portnoy laughing about the Knicks. Like, God damn it. But yeah, so it was cool though. Like, you know, the kids are such a cheat. Like, for the t-shirt toss, I point at my kids and they just throw them to them right away.
Yeah.
Like, all this shit was is a good time for kids. There was a dude who almost hit a $75,000 half court shot. It was you stand at half court, and then there's like garbage cans, probably 10 feet away, 15 feet away, 20 feet away, 25 feet away, and you had to hit 3 to qualify for a $75,000 shot. I think it was $1,000 a bucket.
Really?
And he went first bucket, second bucket, third bucket, fourth bucket, like no problem. Missed like the very last one, but then they said, here's your half court shot, and it back rimmed it. And I mean, the place would have gone like fuck the game. The place would have gone absolutely crazy. The only thing they cheered for more than that was Mitchell Robinson's free throws.
Yeah,
Mitch,
that's crazy.
Did you see their tweet? NBA's tweet is like more than
things are bigger than sports.
Yeah, bigger than basketball.
They were like, is he dying? Is he sick?
They said something's big in sports.
ESPN said the Garden is supporting, like, because we were cheering like every time we went to the line. We were like, come on, like standing ovation. Yeah. You can do it. And they said like, some things are bigger than sports. They pulled the Rico Bosco.
It's literally sports.
That's the definition was like, he's just playing the game. It's not bigger than sports. It is sports.
It's sports. Sometimes sports are just good, but it's just sports.
It's just sports. and he did make 2 at one point, or maybe 1. Place went bonkers.
Yeah. No, I think he hit 2.
Yeah. I mean, it was like the biggest pop of the night was that. And I'll give, I want to give credit to. I think I'm going to give him credit. I can't decide. It's one or the other. it's either fully performative and it's fake, or he is the real deal. Timothée Chalamet was sitting courtside, and I mean, he was like in his seat the whole game, standing up, yelling at refs, standing up, cheering for Mitchell Robinson. And between that and the college game day thing where he was like talking ball, and people were like, does he really know, or did he like get fed lines? I'm like, it's either like his best acting performance of all, or he's just a diehard sports fan.
It's specifically Knicks fan.
I think of course it's the real deal.
There's pictures of him in like 06, 07. He was like right around my age. He won like a Landry Fields trivia contest.
He's younger than that. He's like a kid.
Yeah,
He's like 7 at the time or 8 at the
time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think you were saying he's like your age now.
No.
He's like a child.
Like Landry Fields. And then also during the Met Gala, he was in the bathroom watching on his iPad.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that. But that almost makes me think that the college football stuff is fake. Because if you're like a New York fan and a Knicks, you don't know shit about college football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. But like also, in the clips I watched, he knows anything. Like 2 names.
Yeah.
It's
not, that's what I mean, though.
It's not some insane like where like he's breaking down fucking.
So wait, this was the other thing about Mitchell Robinson. They said this is really the difference between the NBA level of talent and non-NBA talent. This is Mitchell Robinson over the summer, because Mitchell Robinson, if you're not familiar, is like a junkyard dog, lunch pail, rebounder, defender, and in these highlights of the summer league, or not even summer league, just him like shooting around during the summer, he's fucking Kyrie, And I get what they're trying to say, but that has nothing to do with free throws.
No.
Like
defender.
During these exact workouts, when he went to the free throw line, he missed.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the NBA or the fans. And I will never, from everyone, from Shaq to fucking DeAndre Jordan to, do you remember Chris Dudley? Are you young enough?
I went there for when he had a 25 assist game, first Knicks game ever. Yeah.
No. Chris Dudley?
Chris Dudley. Oh no, Chris Duhon. Yeah.
Chris Dudley was this big white guy who played for the Knicks, who shot legitimately 40% from the line, and he used to have this routine. He would, with an imaginary ball, would dribble, and then put his L up and shoot, and then brick the fuck out of every shot. I will just never get it. I don't get it. Like, some people are like, well, the ball, like for Shaq, it's like shooting a tennis ball. And I'm like, all right, fine.
Shoot the tennis ball 2,000 times.
Exactly. Then figure out how to shoot tennis balls in a net. Like, it will never compute. And one, like, Shaq used to miss a lot, but like they were, like, Mitchell Robinson is like, they're the worst shots. That one shot that last Saturday was literally the worst I've ever seen in my life.
When he took his first shot, it was just like I literally gasped. Like, he's just shooting a dart. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
That's the other thing is like Shaq. All of them shoot poorly. Like, if you're doing the right thing, but it's like, stop shooting it on a line drive.
Yeah.
I know you know how to do that. You're one of the most physically talented people ever. Like, figure out your fucking mechanics. I'm sure I sound like the oldest white guy in the world, but it's like, I just do not get it. Look at that, 41%. Ben Wallace is another one. Shaq, 52%. I mean, Shaq he missed 5,000 free throws. That's another 5,000 points you can tack onto his fucking career.
It's like, just, I don't know. I obviously understand. I'm opining about a sport I don't understand, but like, just go practice.
How about that, though? Antoine Walker. That's kind of surprising. All these other guys make sense. They're big men.
My guy, Twan?
Yeah.
Dude.
Twan shot, probably 40% from 3, but 60% from the line. That makes sense. I will just never understand it, but it made for, like, you know what the thing is, too? Like, Mitchell Robinson, like, holds his head and, like, like he is.
I thought he was, it's not a hissy fit, but at one point when he was like 0 for 12, he did like kind of collapse into his hand, and I thought he was laughing because I what other reaction could you possibly have other than like, how the fuck won't this ball go in the hoop?
Not even close.
I'd constantly be apologizing. I would just be saying, I'm sorry.
Look, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
I mean, it's got to be more. This is the worst shot. This is literally the worst shot in NBA history. I don't think I've ever seen a free throw worse than what we're about to watch right here. It's that bad. It's not even close.
He walks
dog.
away like, shucks.
And I mean, like, Just figure.
Man, I thought I had that.
You know how
one.
mortifying it is? I mean, every time he touched the ball, they just yacked him, you know? And then he made a video afterwards, this video here. He goes, I only care about 3 things, man. And he points to his truck. He goes, that right there. And it's just a pickup truck, by the way. It's not like a Ferrari where it's like, this is my life's dream. He goes, that, my daughter, and like, look at that truck. That, like, okay, I mean, it's, you know, a little bit tricked out. But he was like, don't get it twisted. Like, none of this affects me. Like, I don't know if that's the answer.
See,
either,
dude, I think that's a terrible, terrible answer.
Yeah.
And I actually think Tatum had such a great answer the other day, which is like the complete opposite end of this, where Tatum was asked about like his struggles. And I'm going to pull it up because
just to throw him a little bit of bail, like he was kind of talking about the trolls. He was like, the trolls don't affect me. Like,
okay, I get that.
So I don't think he was trying to say like, I don't give a fuck that I missed all those shots. I think he definitely is embarrassed by that. But speaking about like the internet, you know, getting on him for it, he was like, I'm not affected by this. I think he said like, I care about my team, my truck, and my daughter.
Dude, I was always, and I still am. I'm a Tatum guy. I'm sorry, Jaylen Brown guy. If you're asking me who my favorite player on Celtics is, I like Jaylen Brown.
It's very hard to be a Tatum guy.
It's hard to be a Tatum guy until I read this quote, and I was like, all right, he's a good dude. Like,
you just don't understand what comes with being that guy. I live a great life. I ain't gonna lie. I make a lot of money. I take care of my family. I've been able to experience a lot of things, but you also have to accept what comes with that, right? I get a lot of praise. I get a lot of credit. I get a lot of accolades, but I'm not perfect, and there's times where I needed to play better. I needed to do more, and that comes with being that guy. So just understanding that, and people just don't criticize me. There's a lot of people that came before me that they criticized, and there's going to be people that come after me that they criticize. For me, it's just a sense of joy that I play with. Coming into a game with an angry face and mad at the world, that's just not who I am. It's not when I play my best. So I always say that you got to be the same person if things are going great and when they're not going great. You can't switch up. That's the character of a good man. I agree with that too. I mean, people, you know,
I read that. I was like, all right, I'm a Tatum guy.
Yeah. I think people, sports fans and probably athletes, I think you would prefer the Kobe, the killer instinct, the MJ, like cold-blooded. But if you're not that, you're not that.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And I guess I shouldn't say prefer, because I think there are plenty of people who like, I don't know, like Francisco Lindor plays the game with like a smile on his face all the time and he's fine, you know, like as long as you perform, none of this matters. But if you're picking which personality you want, I think it's like cooler or scarier, more intimidating for the opponents to be like, I'm a tough, scary guy.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
I think I see someone like that and I just laugh. I'm like, you fucking lose it. Dude.
Well, you got all of it. You have to back up.
But yeah, but like anyone who's like, I will die for this. I'm like, I'll kill you for this. So good luck.
But I think there's something to the, you know, I mean, Kobe is always the example, or MJ, where it's like, and I took that personally and I fucking buried you and ruined your life afterwards. I think like a Max Scherzer is one who like stomps around the dugout all the time. It's like that I don't like. But the mentality of like, or Kobe, like job's not done or all that shit, you know, I think most fans would prefer that because they take it so goddamn seriously. But if you're not that guy, the worst thing in the world is trying to fake that.
Right. Just, I mean, the obvious is just be who you are. But like, even if you're not that guy and you're trying to play that guy, you see through that like fucking
instantly,
like a veil. Instantly. Like you're like, this is clearly
performance.
And Tatum probably has that to an extent where he's been such a Kobe guy that people make a connection. Like,
well, he texted him that day. You know? I don't really care about these things, but there's like 1,000 examples of him now. Like, just stop copying people's celebrations. Did it again with that. This one, I don't even know what that is. Some soccer player did that one.
Yeah.
Like, just don't do it.
I didn't even know that.
I think it's Mbappe or I don't know, one of these guys. It's like another, you know, like this after the game, and it's like a soccer player's thing.
He's the ultimate clip farmer. If you know what that is.
Yeah. Just like pump your fist. Yeah. Not everything needs to be perform. Like, I'm doing this for the camera. There is something weird about him though. Like, he is great, but even watching this series, like even the game they won, he's not like, I don't know. Even though like those last possessions, he like lost his dribble and like some of it, I was like, I kind of get where people, you know, people who say he's like not great are stupid. But if you're, let's say he's already a top 7 player or something, that within that realm, there's a little bit that like leaves to be desired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I don't know what I'm talking about, but like I remember that being a thing with LeBron. Like LeBron doesn't take over the game the way he should.
I was just gonna say it's LeBron.
It's like LeBron facilitated the game, so I don't know.
I mean, basketball is so. It's like, the defense came over here for you, and they collapsed on you, so you kicked it out. All that shit that may not show up in the box score. But
I was saying the other day that I was reading. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, in those two, like you blew 20 points leads, and like it just feels like those are spots where you stop the bleeding, I take over the game, and you just like didn't. So.
But I remember the fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Whatever, it's too much sports anyway.
One last thing about Game 3, when I saw that you were in the cave, and then I found out you were at the game, I was like,
we know where this game's going.
Just based off of history,
just based off of reality,
we
logic.
don't have a fucking chance in this game.
Isn't that crazy? How much that? I mean, 15 years straight. 15 fucking years straight. Like, I'd be interested to really get inside the minds of other people. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to win. I really don't. Like, people were kind of like, and I don't want to look past anybody because the Knicks are not that good of a team. But you think if you can get through the Celtics, like you probably could beat the winner of the Pacers and Cavs. So people are like, we might and I'm like, no, we're not going to. I'm still going to watch and I'll get excited, but like I do not in my heart, even like the Mets are playing well, like we're not going to win the World Series. I do not think it's going to happen. It's the same way that it's like I want our podcast to be like better than Joe number one. It's not going to happen. I don't wake up every morning and be like, if we work at it, it's gonna happen. It's not gonna. And then it's very funny to be like the fact that I've hitched my wagon to you, and it's just like we have been on paths like this, and as time goes on, we just get further and further apart.
Dude, Rico texted me, and I was like, why? Like it's just in my head
to be in the stream.
Yeah, and I was just like, and then like schedules worked out. My dad was actually going to come down, and we were going to go to the game. And then he didn't end up coming, so I texted Rico, and I was like, wait, what? We had the funniest exchange because he hit me with such a Rico comment where it was so funny.
He's unbelievable.
Where it was he goes Knicks stream tomorrow and Saturday if interested. And I said, if I'm around Saturday, which I think I will be, I'll definitely stream. And then he hit me with hey, no problem. And I was like, no, you're not doing me a favor. You know what I mean? Like, I'll fucking do the stream. But just to be clear, you're not doing me a favor. Yeah, no problem. I was like, what the fuck does that mean, dude?
Did you see his appearance on Unnamed with his local neighborhood watch person?
No, I heard about it. But
one of the crazier lines off the rip. So for those who don't know, Rico has been posting on like his local like Staten Island Facebook group, like Neighborhood Watch, being like, hey, people are breaking into my car, like lock your doors. And then everyone's response was like, why don't you lock your doors, you fucking idiot? And then Rico went Rico. And so this woman, Carol, Dave, of course, like finds her and has her on the show. So she's on Unnamed Show. And Rico starts off with that you were talking to me like a child and you were condescending. And he goes, and when people do that to me, like, I would rather have AIDS than that. And Kirk was like, wait, what? What did you say about AIDS? Like, I don't think there's a correlation between AIDS and this. But yeah, Rico, like,
he's such a nut.
He's such a nut. And that face the whole time just, like you really got to be looking at yourself sometimes when you get called on to, one of the biggest podcasts at Barstool, and it's a local fucking Neighborhood Watch woman, and you're just like, what is my life? Like, how do I
this is what I did this weekend. I spent my time arguing with Carol.
What's so funny for us and horrible for Rico, I'm sure, is like, this is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
You cannot get this at Wawa. You can't get this anywhere. Like, we have this character who finds themselves in situations like arguing on Facebook with local fucking people, and will bring her on the show, and he'll, of course, she's like, yeah, your mother was my daughter's volleyball coach. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that we were in the same circles. All this shit that is like so genuine and real. And it's because of Rico. Yeah. However, it's all unintentional, and you can't really capitalize on it. It's like the only way you get these moments is through your downfall, where you're, getting the short end of the stick and Dave is whipping you. So in a weird, you're altogether the most like indispensable, irreplaceable, one of a kind internet creator. And yet you can't really benefit from it at all. It's like a fucking Twilight Zone. It's like a episode of Black Mirror.
And by the way, it makes you miserable.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. Like if he could somehow be like, yeah, but hey, like the contract is good or whatever. But it's like he wants all this to stop. He just can't make it stop.
Well, at least they give you financial security, right? You have multi-year contracts. It's like, no.
At least you're not negotiating every single 6 months. Yeah. He is one of a kind, man. Absolutely one of a kind.
I don't know why, but doing his like Italian voice reminded me of Eddie at Marty and Rhea's wedding. Eddie sits down to me next to me at the end of the night, and we're talking a little bit, having a nice conversation, and then the convo kind of just dies, and then Eddie just gets this smirk. You know how Eddie does that smirk where he's got like. Yeah. And he just pops this smirk on, and he just looks at me and goes, you excited for Final Destination? I've been thinking about that.
That's a valid question for you, though. Yeah. That's not that crazy. It's not that crazy.
Like, I've been thinking about that for 3 weeks now. I don't know how long it's been. And it was just like, it wasn't like an awkward silence. It was just like, we were having a conversation. The conversation kind of slowed down.
What'd you say?
I forget what I said because I think I've only seen one or two of them. I am excited for this.
I'm actually surprised by that. I feel like you would have seen all of them.
You know what? Honestly, I'm laughing at Eddie, but Eddie kind of helped me understand the movie. Where he was, because I was like, I'm not really good.
Didn't you understand?
Like, I've never really seen him, so I don't really know what the like point of them is. And I was just like, I don't know, I'm not really a huge like horror gore guy. And, he was like, nah, they're more like apocalyptic movies. And I was like, well, hang on, I fucking love those. Okay.
I wouldn't even say it's more like a fate thing. It's like
it's all about it's like
but like it's like things are crashing. And
like
that.
Have you seen the marketing they're doing? It's pretty cool.
That's what I mean. This Final Destination Bloodline, I actually have been like, I kind of want to see that.
The truck is awesome. There's a giant, one of the famous kills, because if you're not familiar, it's all about these people have been like touched by death, and like death will find a way to kill you. And I think the badge of honor that this movie series has is that they've come up with like 1,000 ways to kill people in movies. And one of them is a lumber truck, a tree falls off and smashes through the window and kills you.
No, I know that one.
And so they have a big ass lumber truck driving around with the Final Destination like sign on it.
Oh, and it's in the real world.
Yes. Yes. And it looks like it's it looks like it's kind of overflowing with lumber, kind of like it doesn't look like.
See, like that's like apocalypse. That's not like.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's not like, oh, this person died. This person died.
That's
like
wrecked.
The worst possible.
Yeah,
way.
And it's always like a live wire finds this one puddle of water that like shoots through your house and electrocutes you.
Well, dude,
that's so cool.
The
brilliant, man.
Whatchamacallit? Fucking I lost it again.
We should start. Let's start a marketing company. I think we would be great at these things. Just like these advertising for movies in this way. I think if you were to give us a budget and be like, promote this show, I think we could come up with like awesome ideas.
I think so.
Like these things, and nowadays, like I used to see like clever billboards, and it's kind of like whatever. I don't know. That's just like the billboard's there, it's in your face. But now when everything goes viral, you know what I mean? Like this, we're gonna drive this truck around, and every single person who drives by is gonna take a picture of it and post it.
I agree with that. I also think marketing is like the most thankless job you could possibly have. Because everyone who hires you assumes that you're going to make them go mega fucking viral.
It's all or
and it's like
none of the credit and all the blame.
Yeah.
But I think these things are I always get a kick out of them, and I feel like I could.
Like if your marketing campaign for the local laundromat isn't as successful as that Final Destination thing, they're like, why did I even get you?
Yeah, I know. But like the smile was a good one. Having all the people at the games, like it was annoying, but it worked. Everyone was always talking about it. I think you could, if money's not an issue, I think you can really we could crush it. Being just like movie, TV junkies at this point. Watch anything good recently? I feel like we were on like a hot streak, and now I'm a little bit of a lull.
I saw Friendship, unbelievable.
What's that one?
Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd's new movie.
Good.
That was really, really good. Really good. And like I haven't seen a comedy in a packed theater in God knows how long.
Yeah. I haven't even heard about this.
Yeah,
I'm so much more the TV guy. I realized how little I know about movies.
But like,
talking to you guys, you always mention movies I don't even know about.
I think it was on 6 screens in the country.
Oh, okay.
So like, it's not one that you would.
Is it funny? Oh, I was thinking of Tim Meadows for some reason. Oh yeah, this is A24, right?
Yeah.
And this is like funny, or it's like a drama that's funny.
It's. I think you should leave in movie form. So it's very funny, and there's also just some wackiness. Like,
has he done movies?
No, this is the first one. It's so fucking funny.
I can't wait. This is probably.
Are you seeing it?
I just haven't had a chance to see it.
Well, it's gone tomorrow.
Oh fuck! What's gonna happen? Is it
I don't know.
It'll be on.
It's like it was like a 6-day release.
Between this and Sinners, I've spent about $75 on movies I haven't seen, because I'll buy tickets and be like, I have the Knicks tonight, and then I'll buy tickets. I have to do this
it is
tonight.
tough
and
when
it's
you're
like,
in sports mode. TV has been like a little bit of a dry.
Dude, you know what I did yesterday though, and this is one of the more embarrassing things I'll probably ever do.
We'll decide.
Okay.
Finish the statement and then we'll decide. Okay, that's saying a lot, bro.
Maybe not embarrassing. One of the more pathetic. How about that?
Also,
dude. So yesterday I was just like, I don't know. I had nothing to do. I was bored. I was like, I'm hungry, and I was like, I gotta go to the market. And I've seen a few recipes lately, just like viral, like TikTok-y things that just popped up on my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I guess I'll make. And for some reason, when I see something online described as viral, I hate it instantly. Like it turns me off, because again, like that's how most of the marketing is on Instagram, where it's like
this viral
whatever,
thing,
and like that marketing does not work on me. I hate that about me, that I instantly hate it, but I do. It's whatever. I'm trying to work on it. So I was like, okay, let's try and make these 2 viral recipes, John. They're both like very little things. Like,
what are we talking?
Like 5-minute, like
chicken dish or some shit?
No. One was a fucking tortilla cinnamon roll. Like
I'm listening.
And it's like a tortilla cinnamon roll, and then they're both like 5-minute recipes. They're both very quick. And then another was like this bowl that I actually saw Rhea make before their wedding, where it was like sweet potato and beef and avocado and cottage cheese or whatever. And I was like, sure, I'll try. That just happened to come up yesterday morning too, and I was like, sure, I'll just try that too. But then when I was at the market, like a fucking murderer collecting all his supplies, I was like, I can't buy it all in one place. The lady's gonna laugh at me. Like,
you're so crazy.
I was like, I can't be another one of those like person who the lady at the checkout just clearly knows, like, oh, here's a viral trender. So I was like, I bought half the stuff at Westside Market.
Oh, yeah, you're pathetic.
And then I went to Gristini's.
You're pathetic.
Now, to be fair, I was like, I'm not going outside again today. Might as well get some more like exercise and walk a little bit and enjoy the day. But I was like,
no, you're pathetic. I got to buy the Sudafed here and the fucking like
I
bleach
can't buy
over here.
The axe, the shovel, and the duct tape all at the same place.
Man,
it was.
It's funny.
Again, it was a nice day.
How are they? How were the viral things?
The bowl was really good. The tortillas were not good, but they weren't what I expected. But they ended up being really good, because what I did was, this is kind of crazy. So it's not, I expected it to look like, in that picture, I expected it to be like the size of a cinnamon roll. It's not. It's like this. It's a fucking nickel, right? Because it's a rolled up tortilla. So what I ended up doing was I took them out of the oven I put them in a bowl. I put a scoop of ice cream or two in there.
Now we're cooking.
And then because they were so warm, it melted the ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And now it ended up being
a soup,
kind of like adult Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah,
because inside of those had you put.
I love that ice cream makes it adult.
Adult. I was just gonna say adult. Now it's adult.
For big boys. But before you roll up the tortilla, you put a bunch of butter on it, and then you sprinkle cinnamon sugar, and then you roll it up and cut it into pieces. And then the way that cooked, the tortillas themselves ended up being like almost butter gushers.
Ooh.
In there, yeah.
Butter gushers.
Yeah, the more I'm talking about it, the more these are pretty fucking good.
Viral, bro. Viral for a reason.
But they weren't what I expected the package to be, whereas the bowl was very aesthetically pleasing and looked delicious and tasted delicious. This was
I've
just
seen
delicious.
people recently making a tray of cinnamon buns and then scooping it with an ice cream scooper. I don't know why, but it looked cool. So just, and then they, had the little thing. It's like, yeah, I'll do scoops of cinnamon buns. I don't know why you don't just eat it as a bun, but okay. There's that middle. The middle of a cinnamon bun is like, to me, it's like the essence of life. It's like it's like where the Big Bang came from. Like when you unwrap, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking like a mall Cinnabon,
Yeah.
Like the outside's whatever, but when you get to that middle where they got the black like goo and it's soft in the middle.
I had one this morning. It was like,
bro, I used to rip
after you eat it.
full ass Cinnabons. Like I remember being a kid because they would have the mini and the big, and I would get the big. And even as a child, I was like, this is too many calories because they had the calories there. It was like 2,000 calories for one bun, and I was like, this is a bit much at like the age of like 11. But I would hammer those, dude. Nowadays, that would put me. I mean, I would still hammer it. Don't get me wrong, but I would at least be like, oh man, I'm like sluggish over that shit. Dude, that middle, I would have sex with that. I would fuck the middle of a honey bun.
I also did
me,
a little experimenting. I don't know. I was doing some cooking this weekend, and I did on Saturday night. I did peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Got it.
Pretty basic stuff, right? No. I took a cup.
Cut the middle.
Cut the middle.
Got it.
Uncrustable. Into the oven. Toasted. With the already sealed as an Uncrustable.
Yeah.
Toasted. Into a bowl. Ice cream. Adult fucking peanut butter and jelly.
That sounds great. I think the only thing that would be better is if you deep fried it. Get some batter.
Yeah.
Deep fry it Uncrustable.
Yeah.
Thinking about getting a deep fryer. Starting to deep fry shit.
Dude, like a built-in deep fryer in the kitchen?
I don't know. Yeah, something. Yeah, just like next to the toaster, there's also a deep fryer. That'd be pretty fucking dope.
That would be very good.
Dangerous.
I would guess your hand ends up in it.
Totally. Eventually.
On some Final Destination shit.
Yeah, that's inevitable. You're really tempting fate with the fucking deep fryer. It's just like having a bomb in your kitchen. Yeah, that sounds good though.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. I didn't do anything. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I went to see Friendship Friday, hung out Saturday, hung out Sunday. Here today. Although I did see some. Can you do me a favor? Can you just Google Air Force One?
The movie? Or
No, the plane.
Plane.
I keep seeing news that I'm like, that can't be true.
I was just going to ask, what do you think pops up on Google first? Because Air Force One's got a lot of things.
Cross my mind.
Go to like news. Yeah, that keeps it. This can't be true.
Trump is poised to accept. So Qatar is going to give him a new plane to be like he's getting a new Air Force One.
But in the thing, it's not for America.
It's for him.
It's for like when he's done being president, it's his plane.
Oh,
and he's not allowed to accept gifts. Like it's been a thing for years now. It's against the law for him to accept
that one though
gifts.
says Trump administration.
But this one, I think they're just like
as a donation.
we're taking the $400 million plane. And I was just like, hang on, a Middle Eastern slave state is gifting us a $400 million plane that is not going to the country?
Yeah, that sounds a little...
I was like, that sounds like the craziest thing I've ever heard.
It's meant for presidential duties. That's what they said, but I believe it's illegal, so I don't know.
But even, click the article, because I think they want, like, I remember reading, like, they want to be clear. It's not for America. It's for Donald Trump, and he can keep it when he leaves.
Bro, Donald Trump is going to do so much damage once he's not president, man. I can't believe he wanted to be president again. Because in my mind, I would imagine retiring, whatever you want to call it, like your administration ending, has got to be the dopest shit in the world. Because all those restrictions come off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's probably a million things you could cash in on as a president that you're not allowed to. And then when you're not president, it's like...
But I don't think any president, I know we talk about it with Trump, but like, I don't think any president is worried about their net worth. Because like it's gonna be fine.
No one's worried about their net worth, but everybody wants more, man.
But like, I don't know. You're like, when I'm done with this, my speaking fee is $1 million a year. I mean, $1 million a speech.
But that's what I mean. Even that stuff is like when I'm sure you can't really do that or cash in, and then it's like now I can. I'm just gonna go to every fucking little college, every little everything.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, I don't know why you would be concerned with it while you're president, because you're like, when I'm done. So
this says the plane would be donated to Trump's presidential library at the end of his term. It's like, that's just my airport now.
And like, I think, again, I want to, it's all stuff I've read, so I don't know for sure. But like, it was like, he can use it.
And this is just
like, that's insane.
And then, all of a sudden, Qatar is going to get some, beneficial, whatever, legislation. Like where'd that come from? Is that really what it is? Is the plane's $400 million?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And there's like, differences in stuff. Like, a fucking plane is the most like obvious.
You can't
in
hide
your
that.
face thing I've ever seen. Like,
yeah.
You can have a plane. What? And when it's like, and we're like, okay, all right, yeah, get the plane.
Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. I was at the Knicks game, courtesy of Game Time this past weekend. It was one of the most expensive tickets, I think, in Knicks playoff history. Or was that it? Yeah, right. So it was a pretty penny, but Game Time provides you with the best prices. I opened up the Game Time app, and it was like the devil and the angel on my shoulder of like, do you want to get reckless? Do you want to do it right? And I found a perfect in between. And what they really do well is they give you...
I did that the other day on the Game Time app.
Yeah.
For good night and good luck.
They do a good job of like, this is a good deal for this price range.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So like, here's all the available tickets, but they put like a little green star over, like, there was one that was courtside, and it was like $2,500 a ticket. But, and that's a lot, but there was other ones for $7,000. So $2,500 is a steal if you're ready to pay that. So it really has something for everybody. It was from nosebleeds all the way down to on the wood. They had you covered, and I was able to bring my kids for like a core memory event. I got a lot of good footage. I'm actually going to put it together of them enjoying their day, and it was all made possible by Game Time. I don't even think, like, is it even possible to get tickets like I have not gotten a ticket or know anybody who got a ticket like from
the box office?
Yeah. No. Like it's literally impossible. When you think about how many people are trying to get in the building for these events and how few tickets there are, relatively speaking, it's like, what is first primary market? What?
I can't even imagine what the world used to be like when it was like, I guess we got to go camp out.
Yeah, right. Camping out and just people standing outside the building. Like you're actually, hey, you need to? Yeah, I do. But Game Time makes it all possible. Killer last minute deals, all in prices. You get the views from your seat, which was also nice. I was able to see right away, like, okay, this ticket is not going to totally suck. I'll be happy. My kids will be happy. And they got the lowest price guarantee. So they take the guesswork out of buying all of tickets, particularly NBA playoff tickets. And right now, as we also noticed, as I got closer to the game, prices went down. There's some ups and downs, but as you get really close to it, it really starts to plummet up to like 60% off if you're buying last minute tickets. So if you're trying to go see the Knicks, if you're trying to go see the Mets, go to Broadway like John, comics, whatever it may be. What are you waiting for? Go now to Game Time. And use promo code KFC for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and if you're a first-time user, use promo code KFC and get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code KFC for $20. You deserve the freedom from sweat and stink. Cremo's deodorant is designed to provide men with 48-hour odor protection. I might have to get Keegan on some Cremo because that boy stank.
Really?
I don't know if I said it on the air, but he was not washing his body right.
Yeah.
He was not scrubbing his pits. And now he's doing that. I'm still giving him the smell test. I'm like, yo, boy, you got to get some Cremo because Cremo is barber grade products made with pride, professionalism, and passion. The 3 Ps. Everyone knows the 3 Ps of smell. Pride, professionalism, and passion to guarantee you quality without compromise. And you can elevate your deodorant experience with Cremo's 2 latest signature scents. There's Italian Bergamot, which is fresh, bright, and robust, showcasing notes of bergamot, neroli blossom, and fresh vetiver? Vetiver?
I would say vetiver, but I don't know.
Such fancy words that smell so good we don't even know how to say them. Or you can get the Palo Santo, which is deep, smoky, and refined, featuring notes of Palo Santo, bright cardamom, and dry papyrus. So they have all sorts of barber products ranging from the shaving cream to the deodorant, and all of it has that good scent and high-quality materials. You know it's safe. You know it's quality. You know it's going to give you that air of being a distinguished gentleman. And it's all available through Cremo right now when you head to Target or Target.com to find their new line of antiperspirants and deodorants in the Italian Bergamot and the Palo Santo scents. Once again, that's Target or Target.com for Cremo deodorant.
The other crazy thing I saw this weekend, do you know meth, like the drug meth, can just be prescribed? It's called Desoxyn. Desoxyn. And like, even like the prescription is just like, yeah, no, it's meth. It's not like one of those things with Adderall.
Like an amphetamine? Or it's meth?
Watch.
Is that it?
It is.
No, because that...
Desoxyn.
Huh. I love that
it's just methamphetamine.
Yeah.
I think methamphetamine, is that also an Adderall?
Well, yeah, this says to treat ADHD.
Yeah.
It's a treat, but like Adderall, I think we always called it like legal crack or legal coke or whatever. This is just like, it's just meth.
But all that, I mean, like painkillers are legal heroin, really. You know?
Yeah,
It's
I guess that's true.
I always thought that meth was like chemicals, but I guess that's what drugs are.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was like Sudafed mixed with like bleach mixed with like ammonia. It's like, damn. Like none of these things should be in your body.
Piss.
Yeah. Good old meth. Yikes. Meth is a crazy one. I understand a lot of the appeal of drugs. I don't get meth. Nothing about meth sounds enjoyable to me.
I know.
I've
never
cocaine. Even I don't even really get the appeal of cocaine. I don't. I get the appeal. I don't like it. Like the idea of partying all night and being awake, and painkillers obviously like numb you, and hallucinogenics make you open your mind. Meth just seems like I just want my body to go crazy. Like, no fucking thank you, man. That's got to be like you reach a level where you're like, I just can't feel my real feelings and think my real thoughts, so I will put anything in my body.
Yeah,
that's when life is not worth living, my friends. Just go and drink yourself some Midnight Bean, man. The Midnight Bean launch party. I think I was very nervous about the launch party. On the one hand, I wasn't because I really do know how good the drink is, but I was like, this will be a real test. To have a bunch of people drink it. And I feel the poor bartender. We had a 2-hour window. How many martinis do you think she made?
I'm going to say...
And there was, how many people there? It was probably like,
126. Is that right?
Way more.
No, it's 126.
No way.
To the number.
Holy shit.
Obviously, I did not know that.
I was about to say, wait, I must have told him. when he said 120, I was like, wow. And then he said 6. I was like, 126.
That's crazy.
How much bonkers, dude.
Damn, dude, I got a dozen match today, too. I just used up
there goes all your
guessing luck.
There goes all your luck.
I felt so bad for her, though.
So, I was thinking about that commercial day. I probably made 10 of those, right? Yeah. And by the 10th one, I was like, I don't want to shake these anymore. The next morning, I woke up and I was like, I'm sore. What did I do yesterday? I was like, I just did a commercial for martinis. I mean, she was double barrel. Every time I turned around, she was shaking new ones. I was like, can we like mass shake this somehow for you? Or I wanted to go get her like a frother, one of those, and you don't have to shake it. 126.
Dude, I can't.
insane.
I'm so good at drinking math. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
dude.
did you think to yourself like, all right, 60 people times 2, or like,
Yes.
yeah, is that what you did? Yeah.
I was like, I can, dude. You asked me how many beers do I need for a party? I fucking got you. I fucking got you.
126. I mean, I was like, I cannot. I looked at him like, you guys, like I told you this already, right? That is bonkers.
Bargatze has a joke about how his wife asking him how much pizza his 40-year-old friends are going to eat. It is really embarrassing. Where she's like, "We'll just call them
20
and
pies.
figure it out." And I would not need to make those calls. So I'd be like, I fucking know how many pizzas they're going to eat. I know how many beers they're going to drink. I know how many pizzas they're going to eat. I've done this 10,000 times.
That's your 10,000 hours. You're a man on fire. You're Creasy. A man can be an artist in anything. Food, whatever. John's art is predicting how much alcohol you need, and he just painted his masterpiece. 126 martinis. That was nuts.
The Office, when Kevin can't do math. But when they switch it to pies, he can.
Same thing when I watch Dan and Dave operate with gambling math.
Yeah.
You ask them a regular math question, they have no idea. You ask them to compute like a 3-leg parlay, and they're like, got it. Yeah, so, but I was watching people drink them while I was not there, like watching them from a distance. And I watched everybody do the same thing. They were filming, and they were getting ready, and they would take a sip, and they would go, like that.
Yeah.
And they would say something like, ooh, it's actually good. Or like Brianna made a video. She was like, I don't have to lie.
That is when your friend shows you something or shares with you, like in this line of work, like, or I'm sure it's any line of work, but like particularly in this where it's going out to the public, you're like, please be good.
Just please
and
like it.
Let me have an honest, positive reaction.
Yes.
Be it a drink, be it
clothing,
a
merch,
new show.
whatever.
Like just please. Like that's literally, if I had a Magic Genie, I would be like, can you promise me that everything my friends show me is good? That's what I would have. Like I just want to not have that fucking moment of like, how am I going to handle this? And Midnight Bean is for sure like, you have one sip, like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. And I didn't know what to like. I kept saying to people, give me an honest review. But I was also like, but there's nothing we can do about it. So don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't be like, never mind. Take these bottles off the shelf. We're fixing the recipe.
You can give me an honest review if you want. Give your Twitter account a fucking positive review.
Exactly. But they all did the same thing. Everybody was like, this is very legit. And like people who I know drink them. The like influencer packs that we sent out.
They look awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
To the point that I got a lot of DMs of people looking for them. And I might sell them. I don't know. I mean, it would be expensive because it's a shaker, a glass, a bottle, and a thing of 3 beans in like a nice box. That's probably like $100.
That's a great gift for a 25-year-old to make.
So I'm thinking maybe if we put that in the works now, by the time the holidays come around, if you're a drinker, if you're an espresso martini fan, if you're a KFC Radio fan, you know, bam, there you go. There's your Secret Santa. There's your gift for your brother-in-law, whatever the fuck it is. It probably would be a little bit expensive, but not too expensive. That's prohibitive. So I was like, a lot of people were like, where can I get these? And they're just, I made like 50 of them to send around to influencers for promotion. But I was like, But I think I'm starting to feel it like move. Like it's finally getting to places, but more importantly, like it's one of those things. Everybody who has it likes it.
Yeah, right.
To me, that's like, so the rest is just a matter of time. It's gonna get out there. It's a nationwide release. Enough people are gonna order it, and everybody who has it. Some guy DM'd me the other day, being like, "I own a liquor store on the Cape. I can't remember the name now, but a bunch of people were like, "Oh, this is like the liquor store on the Cape."
I don't even go to the Cape. I bet if you said it, it might be Cappy's.
It could have been, yeah.
There's like I don't go to the Cape much, but Cappy's is like there's like 2 or 3 of them. There's a couple like it's like one of those warehouse type stuff.
Right.
Things.
And this guy was like, there's a few of these on the market. Yours is definitively the best.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really
that
think
is
that.
when you have that moment where you're like, I know it's good.
Then I have the confidence.
And then you're just like, okay, it'll happen.
Yes.
Like,
it's just a matter of time. I got to I still got to do some things right. But the hardest part of like the product being good is same thing with content where it's like, if you know somebody is like funny, comics, I'm sure feel it too. It's like, you're going to get there. Like, I don't know when your break's going to be, and you do have to keep going up there every night, but like, you'll get there, you know? And so I feel like we're at that with this. Cause even when
like you said, it's like the hard thing is like it's almost like being in a boxing match when you're like, I fucking know I'm better.
Yeah.
I just have to show up every round. Like I'm better. So I'm fucking good at this. Like it's so hard getting to that point in anything, I'm sure.
Right.
But like particularly in content in this world, like I'll be there.
I'm there.
I'll fucking get up. Yeah, I'm gonna take some hits.
But I'm gonna keep on. That's my entire career. Is I just keep coming back. I just keep on coming back. Like dude, the longevity is really the name of the game. Just outlast the other people. The people who soar to the top are gonna soar to the top. And there's a bunch of people who are going to fall off, and I'm just going to stay in the middle, and I'll be there forever.
Dude, I remember this story my dad told me when I was a kid. I obviously have no idea of its truth. It sounds like a parable now that I'm about to say it. But like he was talking about this middle school that we went to in my hometown where there was like this hill, Morton Middle School, and like this hill that all the kids would walk up afterwards. And my dad would tell me about this kid who got in a fight in wood shop with like the big tough guy at school. And he waited for him halfway up the hill and beat the shit out of him.
The big kid beat the
kid beat the shit out of the little kid. And was like, that's it. He's taking a new way home from school now. And the kid showed up every day and just got the shit kicked out of him.
Show up in that hill.
Every single fucking day. And was just kidding. And eventually, honestly, the story, like, he didn't win a fight. The story, the big guy just got tired and was like, I'm done kicking the shit out of this kid.
Eventually, I'll wear you down, bro.
I don't know why my dad would tell me that story. I guess it was like, you're not going to win a lot of fights, but just keep fucking if you keep showing up, he'll eventually stop kicking the shit out of you.
But I really do think that's like, I mean, especially in our line of work, like it's pretty easy to pack it up when the internet starts making fun of you.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody who does. It's just like, I'm not going to subject myself to this anymore. Like the world is.
I'm going to go hide. Thank you.
but there are people who really, they don't do their podcasts or they stop posting or whatever. And yeah, I don't blame you. But also, if you can make it through that, like once you've been humiliated several times, you're like, all right, it wasn't that bad. It sucks. But if it happens again, like because of a failure or something embarrassing or whatever, it's just like, but the next one's gonna hit. I don't know. Like,
see, my logic though, because you're right, like you're like getting humiliated and stuff like that. Eventually, I was like, I don't have to be part of this conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's going to get said whether I'm here or not. I'll just
check out.
Guys, I'll head to the other room. You guys.
Don't get me wrong. You keep talking. I'm just going to be over here.
Do your fucking thing. Yeah. But I'm just going to go outside, I think.
but it's like the fact that you're still willing to do it all. It's like, yeah, you don't have to be engaged in it, but like, I'm not, I'm not going to let you win that. I'm still going to do my job or whatever. So yeah, that longevity is what matters. But I think I heard kind of through the grapevine that they're selling more than they already thought they were at this stage, that they would be at this stage in the game.
What?
The Midnight Beans. Yeah. So like, I think
that's fucking great.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just like everybody who has stocked it sells it out right away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think they're gonna realize like if I buy 2 bottles, I sell 2 bottles. If I buy 2 cases, I'm gonna sell 2 cases. Like I think it's just gonna go. And I really think that I just don't think there's a couple other competitors out there. I don't think any that are as good as mine. A lot of them are like liqueur that you mix, but you have to have vodka.
Yeah.
Or, a coffee flavored vodka, but it doesn't have like the espresso part or whatever. I think I'm like one of the only ones that has it all. And there's just no like brand allegiance yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you told me this one's better than this one, like people are going to buy that one. And I think if there was anybody that was going to have any allegiance, I think it would be our fan base. So I'm kind of like, I just think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard for me because like the way we started the podcast, I'm just like, I don't think good things are going to happen. Barstool has definitively been a good thing that's happened in my life. I certainly can't discount that. That's a big one. But pretty much everything else doesn't work out. So oftentimes I'm just like, I'm here to just like another day at the fucking dick sucking factory. Like I got to get through this. So it's pretty rare to be like, I think we got it, I think I got it though. I think we got it. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't know what that means, business wise or whatever, but just having a W would be a nice one. So go get your Midnight Bean. And people keep being like, oh, I tried and I couldn't find it. I'm like, you have to ask them to stock it. If you say, do you have it? And they say no, and you just walk out, that doesn't do anything. Say, if you stock it, I will buy it. Yeah, and they will stock it because they just want to sell shit. So just add it onto
That's how business works.
Yeah, just do it. So thanks to everybody who came out to the Midnight Bean party. It was a bunch of Barstool people, a bunch of fans came through. If you took pictures or anything, post it, tag it. Appreciate all that. So, have you seen? There's this viral video.
Wait, before you say that, I'm going to say something. Have you seen the Four Seasons? I know I texted you about it already.
So
I've seen it 3 times already. I'm obsessed.
The whole show?
I'm obsessed. It's 8 episodes.
And it's 25 minutes, right? It's 12
Yeah.
minutes. I was going to say this earlier when we were talking content, TV and shit. It's just the amount of shit that is fucking divorce and relationship related on television. Everything I tune into, I'm like, and I'm not like busted up about it to the point that I'm like, I can't watch these things. I'm not like, I was going to say I'm not triggered by it, but I think I'm triggered by it.
Yeah, and it's fucking, but like, no, we all have stuff we're triggered by.
Yeah,
and
but there's just fucking much of it. I'm like, it's one of those things, when they, somebody points out a red car, and then you see red cars.
Yeah.
It's like,
we don't need representation for everything.
For real.
Kevin's like, I'll speak for divorced dads. We're good with representation.
We're good. That whole, like, I turned it off. I was in the middle. I was watching that woman, redo their vows, and like he's coming home ready to break up, and she.
Okay, see now I'm gonna pitch you on a little harder then, because what I love about the show is that no one's a villain.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah, it's all understandable. He was like, I'm just not happy.
He was unhappy.
Yeah,
he gets in a new relationship. He's like, I know it looks ridiculous. I'm fucking happy though. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, no one in this show, none of the characters are like piece of shit people. They're regular people, good people who sometimes fuck up or sometimes try a white lie or this kind of shit, but like
normal human shit.
You're just normal humans. And
yeah.
I for some reason I found that so refreshing.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's 8 or 6, I forgot how many it is, like 6 to 8, like just fucking good people who
also
life's hard and tough stuff's getting in the way and shit like that, but like they're all trying their fucking best.
Monster names too. Tina Fey, Steve Carell,
Coleman Domingo, Will Forte,
is Coleman Domingo the black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking best dressed dude in the world.
Great voice. That guy should do like voiceovers and books on tape and all that shit.
I like that. In a lot of his stuff, Coleman Domingo himself is an excellent dresser. Very stylish. And his characters, not one way or the other, it's just their characters, they're not him.
Yeah.
And this is the first one where I'm like, he's like, I'll dress myself, thank you.
Yeah.
He looks fucking awesome every scene.
That scene where so this woman is renewing her vows and her husband is like telling his friends like after this weekend we're getting a divorce, and she gives that speech to Tina Fey about the old BMW.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he loves cars and he tested out all these other ones, but he always comes back to that old BMW. And she's, it's very obvious that she knows kind of what's going on. And I was like, check it out. It's like, I'm gonna put on fucking Bob's Burgers,
but
which that makes me cry these days. Bob's Burgers is all emotional. Everything's fucking emotional.
The character of Steve Carell could have been done as like this midlife crisis guy, asshole.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm just unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I think he has the line.
That actually does need some representation.
Yeah,
I think because honestly, I mean, when I was there, I was like, when people say like, why do you cheat? Just like break up with them, like. That's of course.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty fucking easy thing to just say. If I was just like, I'm leaving and I was, pretty still newly married with a baby, you're still a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
That's like the right thing to do. But that PR is not great either.
Yeah.
That reaction's not great either. You know what I mean? It's like, so, but I think that needs to be a little more.
I did 25 years. That's enough.
Yeah. I was going to say that's also, I shouldn't even really compare because that's a big difference. I think if you've, I don't know. I go back and forth on that. Like, it's like I look at my parents sometimes. I'm like, maybe they would just be happier to go to their separate corners. But also when you're 24, they're 40 years pot committed. It's probably just like, I don't know. We're not gonna shake the pot now. But I don't
even think it's
still
that.
Also,
I think it's more like I think what I would have a hard time with myself is like if I'm married to someone for 20 years, I'm like, I don't know another life.
Yeah.
And it's not I'm not necessarily a grass is greener guy all the time. I'm like. This grass is pretty fucking nice.
Yeah,
pretty fucking comfy.
Or I don't want to be
on with a fucking scythe on my own grass. I don't know how that grass works. You know what I mean? Like,
I gotta mow this lawn. This lawn is so thriving that I gotta fucking take care of it. Yeah, I mean that's that. I can't figure that out. That I don't know. Like when you're sometimes I see it's like you're getting a divorce at like 70. It's like what? But I don't know. It's also like. If you have 20 more years to live or some shit, that's not, you know what I mean? It's not like you're on death's door.
Well, they say the worst investment is a bad investment you stay invested in.
I really think there is no bigger decision than getting married. Like if you get married or really have kids with like the wrong person, you pay for, pay for it forever. It's going to be a problem forever. I can't stress enough how much it's like, if I'm sure there are people like you proposed, you bought the ring, the families are excited and you're like, I can't go back on it now. Like, go back on it. Go back on it. It will get so much more difficult. It's just you can't ever undo it. You know what I mean? Once you've had kids with someone or whatever, it's just like this will be an issue till you're dead. But it's definitely a well done show. Like it's nice to have a half-hour show too. It's like quick, easy.
Who was the last one? Carrie Kenny Silver. She's from Reno 911. Oh, but Erica Henningsen or whatever. The Ginny, the girlfriend who's like, she's like a 32-year-old girlfriend who he starts dating. Her character. Oh, I
haven't seen that part yet.
Her character so easily could have been like this ditzy. Bitch, yeah. She's just she's younger, but she's just like, she's trying to. Like everyone's just, and I don't know. I found it to be so pleasant. I really, really liked it.
You know what I think has been great this year? It's Hacks.
I have not started Hacks.
Oh, it's so good, man. It's like them going through the Tonight Show and they're like, their relationship's like super strained. I guess actually the beginning is a little bit ridiculous. The very first thing is there's a power play from Ava that's a little bit like silly, but like whatever. But it's Jean Smart's fucking awesome.
Yo, it's great, dude.
She has some really good moments in the season.
What was I watching? Oh, I was watching The Accountant 1. Gear up for The Accountant 2,
Naturally.
And she has like the smallest possible role in The Accountant 1.
Really?
And that was pre-Hacks and everything. I was like, damn, she was like 65 waiting at the middle of the fucking hill.
Yeah.
And like, who else wants some? Who else wants some? Like it was, it was a recognizable role. But like she must have had 2 lines in the whole movie. Wow. And now she's like a 4-time Emmy winner.
Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome. That show was great. Yeah, there's definitely some good look at that 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's awesome. That's like I just can't. It's got to feel so good to have a hit show. Are you getting pumped to release yours? No, for real.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
I'm excited.
That's going to be a hit.
I'm excited.
I mean, your first one, I think I've said this before, like whether it's a numbers hit, we don't know yet because your first one you got to grow. But like it's a lot like Midnight Bean. I think the people that watch it, I mean, I haven't even seen it yet, so what am I talking about? But from what I've watched you guys and seen you guys operate, I would guess. I think the people who watch it are going to be like, this is good, and that's really all you can ask for in the beginning is like
the. I feel like what we've always said is like when we're like sitting here like working on it. Owen said it first actually, and I was always like, that's right. Where he was like, I don't know who's going to like it, but I know like the 7 of us or 10 of us or whoever it was who worked on it.
It's a huge litmus test. Like, it's a huge sample size.
We all like it.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone else does. You can't predict what an audience likes, but like everything I've seen, I'm like, I don't know. That's fucking funny.
There's certain things at Barstool when like a whole bunch of people like it. It's something for everybody at Barstool, but when like everybody with a like-minded sense of humor all agrees on something, usually those are like the hits,
well, I mean, like, I guess I don't think I try not to think about this a lot. Like, people could fucking hate it. They might. Like, there's a chance. I would be very surprised. I think it's funny.
I don't.
But
think
there
so.
is the chance. People hate it.
I think there's something very different about scripted, especially for us. I don't know about the general public. I think your first test is like your fans along the way.
Yeah.
And I think like when you're doing a podcast, when you're doing like content like that, I think it's easy to hate because it's kind of like you're not putting like your heart and soul into it necessarily. You're just kind of like talking. There's definitely a vibe of like, I could do that better than you or whatever. You think people are making money and successful off of like some lazy shit, basically. I don't know. I feel like fans.
Which is the funniest thing because if you think you can do it, you're the one being lazy.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah. But there's something to be said for like, I think at least that fans of us, of you, will be like, they worked at this, they did this right, they scripted, they wrote it, they filmed it, they acted, they edited, like all that shit. I think that like builds up some kind of equity a little bit. You know what I mean? Where like
it might. There's also the chance that they, like again, I don't think it's a high chance, but it is a non-zero that they go, should have stuck to podcasts.
Yeah, I guess so. I think there's too much talent involved that like Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, I don't know. We put together a bunch of all-stars and the team sucks. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
But probably not,
Right.
you know?
It's going well. I think I so badly want to show him the cold open right now.
Yeah. We can.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what?
You can't say that and then not show it to me. You're fucking showing it to me.
All right, show it to him. Yeah.
Do you think
on air or after?
No, not on it.
But you get my
we can
reaction
show
on
it
air.
now,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm just trying to think how much build up he needs.
Oh, I think you need to see episode 1 to see this.
Really?
Yeah, because you got to know the characters first.
What was the cold open of episode 2?
The cold opens
3.
of episode 3 that's of episode 2.
Oh, that's 2?
That's 2.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Then yeah, you probably
You gotta learn how stupid these guys are first.
I mean, I think I got
So just imagine Tommy.
I get it. I understand. You don't want to show it to you.
Like, you know, we're getting close to the point where episodes 1 through 3 are done. And I would like to start doing screenings first with those closest, and obviously you. And I think there's a handful.
So wait, so you would screen the first couple in case you got to change some things? You think for the later episodes, or you just want
like I just want notes from the public because you know you can look at it with me, Owen, and fights, and you know they're very hands on with the edit, and we can like things, but I just want to see how others react.
Would you consider changing?
I would consider.
Yeah. That's interesting. I never thought of that. I always thought like the season's the season, and then maybe you can change for season 2. But if you could get a little impression halfway through and be like, all right, maybe this one should be. Are you doing 21 minutes or 30? Like
20 minutes. Yeah.
20 minutes.
So it's
it's
20
like,
minutes runtime, and then with ads, like it would work the way to sitcom would.
Right.
It would be like 25 to 30. Yeah.
Right.
And it's all. I guess we never made this clear because they were asking about it in the gambling cave the other day. Like it's all the same characters. They didn't know if it was like out of order sketches
like a sketch
or stuff like
like
that. It's a sitcom.
You have characters you play.
Owen wrote a sitcom, and it is really funny.
Lame
I know
mascots.
it reads funny. It looks. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what
Oh,
happens.
I can't wait. I think it's gonna be. You know, I think back to the podcasting, like when we started the podcasting like movement here, and then it became something so much bigger than our show. Like I don't know. I think it could really open the floodgates of like people doing scripted shit and like, or I don't know, people start to take note outside of Barstool streaming services, people invest in it, producers, I don't know, whatever. Like that's how that shit starts. You know what I mean? Like you don't do it because of that, but it's like when we started KFC Radio, I wasn't thinking about like, let's turn Barstool into a podcast network, but it just kind of happened. And it's cool to see that. It would be cool if like, you know, Caroline or whoever else does like scripted stuff, like jumps on and does their thing, and like it becomes the new wave. Like you might change things here, you know.
It would be cool. It's something I actually was talking to Nick Hamilton about it at the Midnight Bean launch, and I was like, I'm realizing that this isn't what everyone's hope was. Like my whole time at Barstool, I've always been like, I want to do scripted stuff.
Yeah,
I want to do scripted stuff.
Yeah,
and it's just like never materialized because A, I didn't have the confidence to do it, or B, like
the resources. I think
part
of
the separation.
There's a lot of shit that was stopping us from doing that.
Yeah, but like nothing ever expressly.
No,
it was always just like you kind of felt like we were more of this kind of company, so you didn't try and do it. Like nothing was ever told like you can't do this, and I don't know. It's just been fun, and I've enjoyed it, and I hope it's good, but it might not be.
We're gonna have to work on your promotion game.
Anyone who's promoting a show and not acknowledging the possibility that you might hate it isn't promoting it right. It might suck. I don't know.
I think you're wrong. They're not promoting it maybe honestly, but they're promoting it well.
Yeah, I'm gonna promote it honestly. I don't know. I think it's fucking awesome so far. I don't know what'll happen, but so far I really like it. I can't speak.
Again, we're going to work on the messaging. You say that to us. We're going to send you on other shows, and you're not going to say that.
Dude, I'm 100% going to say that. I don't know what anyone's going to think. But if you like my sense of humor, and I've enjoyed it.
I think that's the biggest like thing to me is like, I think in a weird way, it's all built to this, where it's like, I don't know, when you do a podcast, especially a comedy podcast, and for the last 10 years, we recommended the best specials and the best comics and the best podcasts, and we pretty much were right every time, you know?
There's also part of that is true. I was thinking back on that recently, just like how many smart, funny people we've gotten to talk to. is insane.
And
I put up us up against anybody in the world.
In the fucking world.
It's probably Rogan won us too for
literally
got to sit down and pick the brains of really smart,
on camera,
really funny
off
people.
camera, became legitimate friends with some of them, business associates with others, talking to them, watching them. Getting to even I think about how much I talk to Peter from Bert's team, the amount that I've just learned just listening to him and talking to him through osmosis, through watching them succeed, watching them fail, pitfalls and things, what to do and not to do, all that shit. I almost wish we did more. There were times I'm I wish we capitalized on that even more because that moment we still know these people and we still associate with them and they'll be on the show and all that, but that moment of everything coming up was kind of come and gone, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm had I known it was going to be that fleeting, I would have maybe done things differently. I don't know, but yeah, the best of the best, the funniest of the funniest, the best businessmen, the most creative, all that shit have all been.
And it would be pretty foolish to not do anything with that knowledge,
right?
So hopefully we figure it out and hopefully something works, but it might not. That's the honest fucking thing. It might not.
Yeah, you might get hit by a bus, but probably not. Any update on when we're thinking about dropping, or still up in the air?
I have a release date in my head. Yeah,
I have a release date in my head.
I say at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say
3,
2, 1.
September 2nd.
Bang.
But you guys are talking about it a little bit.
Okay, it's been
all right. That would have been. Go fuck the dozen. Go get lottery tickets. Go to Jackpocket right now. Download the fucking.
That is not an
Millions.
official announcement. That is just.
That's what's put. That I like pressure for what I need to get done, or else things will just
give you a deadline.
I'll just keep doing. We'll just keep reshooting. We'll keep reshooting. Or I'll just
Is that after Labor Day?
That is before Labor Day.
I think you should maybe come after Labor Day. No,
let me see when Labor Day is.
There was a reason that date was thrown out. It is also my sister's birthday. That's the only reason I remember it. But there is a reason that date was thrown out. I don't know exactly.
Oh, so day after.
I think that works.
Yeah.
Give some. You can even hype it up. We always used to do worst weekends of the year. People say Labor Day is one of the worst ones. Whatever.
Yeah.
You have something to
come out of it.
Yeah.
We got some really funny promotion ideas that we're gonna get cooking on late summer and promotion all throughout August. And then September release date confirmed.
We also
Confirmed. Yes.
Pav's throwing out the con.
I'll say confirmed.
Let's go. Yeah. Breaking news. So, Tuesday, September. Is it going to be weekly?
It's going to be weekly. Yes.
Are you going to do one episode of the release or cut? I always like the hybrid, but you're going to do one.
So
I like the hybrid as well,
thing.
but with
for
YouTube, it's weird.
Oh, that's right.
You wouldn't
That's
be able
right.
to you'd have to premiere it.
Sure.
Weird.
That's correct. Yeah.
The original plan was 2, maybe even 3, probably 2 episodes at first.
Although I don't know, you never know. I mean, YouTube, you can do enough research and do confirmation bias for absolutely everything. I think what I'm starting to see now though is if you release 2, it has something to feed you.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean. If you release 1 episode, the algorithm's watch more of this, but there's only 1.
Yeah.
It feeds you sort of similar shit. But if it could feed you a second one,
are you speaking to YouTube or are you speaking to Apple TV and Netflix and
I think
YouTube better than you both do.
Yeah.
But
I think YouTube. I don't know. This is kind of my latest theory. I haven't tested it or anything, but I think there's some logic to if there's gonna be a click here to watch more, give it at least one more thing to do. You know,
if it fucks up the algorithm and all that shit, I don't think it's worth it. But I always I think if you get them to 1, they like it. If they watch the second after and they like that too the same night, they're watching the rest of the season.
Agreed.
We got to figure out a way to get 1 and 2 out at the same time. I'm going to hopefully talk to YouTube at some point with our connections here, but because you need to watch the first 2, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The first one explains.
But what are you worried about doing a premiere? I mean, you could just publish 2 episodes.
I'm just worried about people accidentally watch this second episode first, and they're like, "What was that?"
Got
and
it.
We didn't explain
Got
anything.
it.
And
I mean, you have to also give you can't be retarded.
Yeah. Some dumb people are gonna be dumb. I don't know.
You could say that about Netflix. I put on episode 2 instead of episode 1. It's I don't know, you're a fucking idiot. It says episode, but I hear what you mean. It is YouTube.
But it'll also sorry to interrupt real quick. It'll also be on the Out of Order YouTube, so go subscribe to that, please.
Yes, please.
Yes. It is. YouTube is so annoying, man. It's altogether the most effective and important and big and all that shit. And then it's also infuriating where it's if you don't play by every single little goddamn rule, the whole thing might be shot.
Yeah.
It's
but
so annoying.
I completely agree, but I also try and I don't know, 10 years ago, you had to beg CBS to put your 20 years ago.
Yeah. There's always been dumb rules to play by.
Something else.
Totally.
There.
But it to me, it's just like, it kind of drives me crazy that it's like, this is not TV. This is more like for content. It's like everything has to be the same theme and the same length. Like that to me, that's not creativity. You know what I mean? It's like, well, this one was 8 minutes and this one's 15 minutes. Your whole thing's fucked. It's like, what? Why? I also am just super salty about the era we came up in, being like, talk about everything. It's now that you're almost like penalized for that, you know? And I hate that, because it's like, I found success talking about Game of Thrones. People are like, just do that. I'm like, I don't want to just talk about Game of Thrones. But, everybody out there now, it's like, I watch some of these people who like figure out like a prank or a skit or an angle, and they just do that forever. And I'm like, there's part of me that watches them that I'm jealous of their success. And there's part of me that's like, yeah, Joey Swole's just out here talking about gyms again.
I don't understand how
do you do that as a human with like especially if you're doing this and you're creative, that means you have some sort of like feelings and emotion behind it, and you just like, I'll just do it again. Ooh, no, not me, man.
Even like when we did, like, I think for a while we were really trying to figure out what Out of Order is and stuff like that, and we went through different iterations of like episodes with sketches, and then we went through just like single sketches, and then we went through topical sketches. And that topical sketches era was the easiest to do, but the like most like
least satisfying.
Like who cares about this?
Really?
Yeah, I did not
like doing those.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate
like
it.
the Jew Tunnel skit. I think was so funny.
But that was Jew Tunnel. That was like impromptu. That wasn't, we were sitting down trying to think of topical sketches.
Yeah, it becomes a little like you're at the mercy of the news rather than like what you want to be doing.
And it's just like, I don't want to talk about that. But I don't know,
there's so many times I'll hit Pabs with like this would be great for a skit, and it's like I've been begging him to do a hype tunnel one. That would be really fun. But I can understand where it's like, you don't sit around for years thinking about, you sit around for years trying to do a scripted TV show. You don't sit around thinking about doing hype tunnel sketches.
But it was like you come in. Like I remember there were probably like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, because we had like a Monday meeting, and there would be like 2 or 3 weeks in a row where you come in with like just like 10 things that happened over the weekend.
Yeah,
and it was like, okay, how do we make this funny? And I don't dislike it. I disliked that being the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know, I don't want to.
It feels a little chasing like views and like just jumping on waves and whatever's viral, and it's like, I mean, what if that week is 10 topics that you do not give a fuck about? Right, you're like, I got to do one of these. That's where it becomes a little bit of a job, and that part sucks. Whereas if you're doing your show, it's like, this is just, I love every aspect of this. Yeah, which is why that's the ultimate. That's why everybody, that's why you want to be a movie star or TV star. It's like, this is awesome that you get to do like that, what you love. I'm pumped, man. I think it's gonna be great. I really can't wait for it.
We'll see. Am I doing a bad job?
Yes. No, definitively a bad job.
Yeah. I think that's the way. I think
yes, but I mean, just think about literally all advertising ever. It's not like at the Super Bowl you watch someone crack a Bud Light and be like, you might like this or you might hate it. That's just not what people do. Hey, check out my new sneakers. Like, you might think they're uncomfortable. I don't know.
I don't want you to watch it if you don't like it. Just if you like it, you should keep watching it. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Well, that's where maybe you could be the honest pitch man, and like that'll be your angle. Be like, that guy doesn't jam things down my throat. He just tells me I might hate it.
Yeah, it would be crazy to say something.
But also, okay, here's where you're wrong. You're only saying that because it's you. Because if DeStefano had a new special out right now, you would tell people like, this is fucking funny, go watch it.
Correct. You got me pegged.
You would not be like, you might not like Chris. You would just say, this is awesome, go watch it. You're only doing it because it's yourself.
Agreed. And I think it's ultimately for other people to decide. So I'll be like, oh, I like it. You should watch it and see what you think.
Agreed. But when you're promoting Chris, you wouldn't say that because you're just not going to.
I think I would. I think
you haven't. We've never had someone on the couch and you've been like, I like it, but you guys might hate it.
But
You've never said that.
I think if we're gonna keep using DeStefano, I think DeStefano should sit here and go,
he should.
I liked it, and you might hate it.
Yeah, yes. But I'm saying when you're promoting a guest, you're being polite about it and you're like, I want to do the best job I can for you promoting.
Yes.
And that does not include being honest about the possibility that might not. The best promotion is just, I mean, people are dumb. Like put it this way, the people who
the dumb people, you're gonna like this.
No,
the
but
smart
I think
people
the opposite.
Go into it with a fucking
Smart people know that, like, if you watch a TV show and you're like, I don't like this, and Feitelberg told me it was good. What the fuck? It's like everybody knows there's an inherent level of like risk that you might not like something that's being promoted. The smart people get that. The dumb people are dumb, and if you tell them it's good, they'll probably just believe you. I mean, the amount of people...
everyone who's watched it thinks it's good.
There you go. That's it.
You might not.
I'm gonna send you on a press tour.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like with the producer, and I'm gonna be like 3, 2, 1. Cut off his mic. It's a really great show. You might just talking to nobody. It's gonna be great. It's like people sit down, watch the show, and drink your midnight bean. Because everyone who has done those two things has liked those two things. And that's it. We'll leave it at that. All right. Get into the back half of our episode now. We're joined by Nimesh Patel, who is, I think, one of the most really likable, enjoyable guys
but
that we've had in a while. Like
he's the man. And this sounds like I'm
you might not like him.
yeah, you might not like him. But there has been a big change since we filmed this interview.
Yes, that's right.
So he was on to promote a Netflix special that he had recorded himself and Netflix then bought. I guess with the hype around it or whatever, Netflix decided, you know what? We want to buy a whole new special. We want to buy, not a whole new, we want to buy your new material. And so they're pushing back the release date. I guess it's out now, I think. And it's Nimesh Patel. Go watch him on Netflix. Very, 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 very funny. I loved his story about with him and Che and Chris Rock.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah,
that's a really cool
when
story.
you can start name dropping, like, I knew he was talented and I knew he was successful. When you start talking about how you're writing for Chris Rock because he thinks you're funny, it's like, oh,
yeah,
listen up. Again, another example of like, that's just another guy who we take for granted that like we're learning from him and talking to him. And like, oh, shit. Yeah. All right, Nimesh Patel on KFC Radio. Let's talk to him.
Fresh air, sunshine, and good food. That is what the spring is all about. And HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes like pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, pina-crusted trout. I don't know why I put on an Italian accent for this, but I did. As well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats. In 2025, we are evolving to fit every lifestyle. I work for HelloFresh now. But in 2025, HelloFresh is evolving to fit every lifestyle by bringing customers even more convenience without compromising on taste, health, or homemade quality. Their new ready-made meals offer chef-crafted, flavorful dishes that are ready in just 3 minutes, so you can dig in and get outside, get work done, or just get some me time. It's such a freeing thing to not have to think about what you're gonna have for dinner that night. If it's even narrowed down to 3 options, you're just like, look, here's what I'm cooking tonight. I have free space mentally to do whatever the hell else I want to do, be at work, have fun, all that good stuff. And you can feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make the season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/KFC10FM now to get 10 free meals with a free item for life. 1 box per active subscription. That is 10 free meals with 1 free item for life. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. HelloFresh.com/KFC10FM. Fast growing trees. I've never really planted a tree in my life. I'm sure I have in elementary school at some point, but I can imagine that the waiting for the growth process is pretty cumbersome. I guess I don't know what word I'm looking for there, but pretty a pain in the ass is kind of what I'm getting at. But Fast Growing Trees is America's largest online nursery with thousands of different plants and trees grown tough on American soil by American farmers, and they have over 2 million happy customers. Kevin has put in a massive order from Fast Growing Trees in order to to outfit, I guess, decorate. I don't know what the right word choice is. Decorate his backyard. And whatever plants you're interested in, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. Find the perfect fit for your climate and space. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. Order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days without ever leaving home. This spring, Fast Growing Trees has the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listen to our show, get 15% off their first purchase when using code KFC at checkout. That is 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code KFC at checkout. Now is the perfect time to plant. Spring's right around the corner, or it might even be here. Use KFC to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Fast Growing Trees proudly supports American farmers. All plants and trees are grown tough on American soil by American farmers. Check out the link below or in the show notes and support the show, please.
I think I've had Poppy before, and Ollie's the other one, right?
Yes. Or maybe that's one of them sold.
They're like they're probiotic.
Right.
So
it's a little more than just
like apple cider vinegar is like the gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just like brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
It's all just marketing. Like
it really is. Just like the can looks nice, the color, whatever it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Where your shelf space is the most important thing. And then
totally.
Which is so crazy because it's something that like I never would consider. And it's like it's not something I've thought about in my
I don't
own
think I've
life.
ever walked into a especially a liquor store and just been like, that looks. I guess with wine I've done that.
Oh, that's all I do.
But like with
no, I'm sorry, with wine.
With wine,
yes.
Yeah. But everything else is like if I'm going for a bottle of whiskey, it's like I'm getting the whiskey I know and like, you know what I mean?
But how it got
I guess wine is a good example.
How it got there to being the whiskey I like.
It's probably
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why do I like it? How did I get
right,
here?
right.
They buy the shelf space, and then whoever wins that shelf, you have to compete to stay on that shelf. And whoever wins the shelf space is usually the person that gets bought out for $1 billion or whatever it is.
It's great. I remember watching like Coming to America. Remember that show on HBO? They make the jeans.
I thought you were talking about the movie.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
Made in America.
Made in America?
Yeah.
The one with God, I forget his name.
Brian Austin. What was his name?
No, it's not Brian Austin Greenberg. Brian Greenberg.
Yeah, there it is.
And when that show starts, they're like selling energy cans,
energy drinks,
and it's some kind of like Jamaican energy drink, and they're always arguing about shelf space. And I remember I was younger seeing it, and I was like, "Who cares? Just get it in the store."
Yeah.
That's why they put all the kid shit low too. All like the sugary shit's like way down low.
It's all wizardry.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like it's impressive, and it's also like, well, you're kind of using this for evil, aren't you? It's impressive knowledge.
Let me tell you something.
Technology.
Everything's being used for evil.
All of it.
Everything is evil.
It's all evil now.
Dude, you actually you give me hope.
Really?
Yeah, because for whatever reason, you're always motivation, I should say. You are like front of my TikTok every time I open
it. Sorry.
And I don't know. I use TikTok to like make videos, and I don't necessarily consume a lot on there. But I recently was like, I'm trying to get my numbers up, and I feel like if I use the app in general, they'll like reward me because I'm a slave to this fucking platform. And so I started to follow more people, and you were one of the people in it. And I guess I watched it a couple times, and now it's just every time it's your episode. But I'm like, this is the goal. I need this. This is what I'm talking about.
It's been like a gift and a curse in the sense of like I'm on it all the time.
Meaning
I don't swipe at all. I'm just like checking like how are people watching.
Yeah. Right.
And like I've slowly learned like it's beyond being addiction. It's like it kind of messes with my brain in the sense of it being like, am I gonna sell this show out? Am I gonna like? I'm weary. Like I try to see if I can think of a formula that means if this got this many views, how many tickets it converted to. I had to stop like doing all that shit.
Yeah, that'll break your. That'll fuck you up.
I can't do this.
Yeah,
it's nonsense, bro.
Yeah.
That's honestly from where I sit, incredibly impressive. To
What's
even be like, I'm gonna do math and like, because you were like a science guy, right?
No, I was a finance major, but it's all just analytics. I was pre-med too. But
didn't you like cook Coke or something like that once?
No. Thank you. I know what you're talking about. That's a joke I had in my special where accidentally made some kind of narcotic derivative.
Yes.
Okay.
And
That's right.
You cook, bro. Let's not split hairs here. Yeah. Cooking them pies.
Look, whether you cook coke in a lab or in a fucking kitchen, like you cook coke.
What a game of telephone you played in your own head. Hey, he was a drug
This is my
dealer.
friend. He's a drug dealer. He works for the cartel.
Nothing like that. No.
That's funny.
I knew you had done it in a lab, like in a medical facility, but I was like,
dude, you guys though, there's never been anybody worse at selling tickets than me and this guy. We were the worst at it. Like, put it on sale and make like some half-ass announcement and hope that it sells out then. Because if it didn't, and then like the day of, we'd be like, we got to move 350 tickets today, and that ain't happening.
You guys do this live?
We did. We haven't done it in a while. It's been a couple years, but we used to do like one. We had probably like a 2-year stretch where we did like one a month, or like we would do like 3, in bunches every couple months in Houston, Austin, Dallas, like that. The
big markets,
things like that, and we were just. It was for us. It's like it was an extra thing. So it was like we have this show and this sketch show and an internet series and then live. You know, so it was never like front of our mind to really push it. And we weren't moving enough tickets that like I'm sure once you start making real money, you do focus on.
Yeah. Did you get disheartened by the fact that you weren't moving tickets, or was it just
well, I actually towards the very end I did, but in the beginning like. Not at all.
In the beginning, we did sell well enough, but there was definitely a couple times where we got out over our skis a little bit and booked a place that was too big, and then we did stupid stuff like we did the Wilbur in Boston on like St. Patrick's Day or something like that, or March Madness, and it was like, and it sold well, but then nobody showed up, and that sucked. And then by the end, it was like. We were doing like a room in Pittsburgh for like 100 people. I was like, what are we doing here?
Right, understood.
So, but that I really respect the ticket grind because I watch, all you guys cutting promos and coming up with new ways to fuck. That's why I hated doing it. And I remember thinking in my mind, you only have so many bullets on social media, and I was like, I don't want to waste it just being like, buy these tickets, because people just get sick of that shit.
No,
like,
they
gotta just. The other thing too, though, is you realize how often you need to do that because we would have diehard fans be like, "Oh, we didn't even know you were in town." And
All
I'm
the
like,
time.
How much more could I say it?
If only these like. If you're listening, Mark Zuckerberg, if you could figure out how I could get to people who I've already gotten to, like it would be such a game changer.
Yeah, right.
Like if I could hook these people without having to make them pay or subscribe or whatever the fuck it is, just let me keep talking to these same
and that's
people.
which I understand that you can't open up this algorithm to everybody every time to like get new people, but all I'm asking is for like the people who follow and like me to just see my shit.
Exactly. Like on TikTok, I have 1.5 million followers, right? It's always new people that come to the shows.
Really?
Always. And I've been doing touring for like 3 years now, right? Mm-hmm. So like, and I don't think the shows are so bad that people are like, oh, fuck this guy.
Right. No.
I think a lot of times what happens is that the TikTok just serves to new people because it's a growth algorithm. It's not a retention algorithm.
But I think that's good.
It's good, but it would be
both.
You need both. Like if I could get to all the people that came out to the first shows. I'd be doing like
arenas,
3 theaters and shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like 1.5 million followers is an insane number of followers to have. If I could get to all of them constantly, like, bro, I wouldn't need to do anything.
Right.
But for whatever reason, the algorithm's like, no, just new.
I remember when we went to Denver and we were getting a car at Enterprise. And the guy who worked at Enterprise was a huge fan. I think I was the one who happened to be checking out or give my license or whatever. And he's like, dude, massive fan. Is that Kevin? Is that Jackie? And I was like, yeah. He's like, what are you guys in town for? I'm like, how big a fan can you be?
Right.
I'm like, how are we missing each other? How are we passing like ships in the night here?
Yeah.
Right.
That like you
Put
don't
the
even know
pieces together, bro.
It's all we fucking talked about for a month.
Right. It's wild that like I'm a big fan. Are you?
Yeah.
But they are.
Yeah, which is
It's not
crazy.
their
That's what
fault.
I mean is like, so you have 1.5 million followers, but probably a couple 100,000 see that at any given post because
time.
So it is like that's where I'm just like if people would just I say this all the time, but it's like just click the like button, click subscribe, do the thing because it helps so goddamn much,
right?
And we don't have to do it as much, and we don't have to worry as I had a call with Meta for the first time, so like Facebook, Instagram, all that shit, and they basically were telling me that they were like, I don't know if I was supposed to say this, but fuck it. They were saying how they're like, you can talk politics again, basically. And like they were saying in 2020, like if you said the word Trump, your shit got flagged.
Yeah.
And it would be suppressed. And now they no longer will serve it to new people, but your current followers, like you're talking about, will see that content you make.
Interesting.
For some reason, they think I'm like super political. They were like, we had to have this talk with you. I was like, really? Like, do you think I'm somebody else?
Right.
I don't think of myself as overly political, but as I'm talking to them, so I have been doing pretty well on Instagram, and every single follower I get, almost to the number, is offset by a magical amount of unfollows every single day for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just not possible. And I'm explaining all the numbers to them, and I'm like, I'm up 1 billion% here and 1 million% there, and nothing on followers. And they were like, they basically admitted, they were like, let me check your account. And they're like, no, there's no like flags or anything on it. And I'm like, so you do fuck with people's accounts. You know what I mean? Because you just told me you're not doing that to me. So like they were like, let me go make sure that we're not. Okay, yeah, you're clean. I'm like, how many people are not though?
Right.
So I was like, just go back there and pull the fucking lever and push the button for me, please.
Open the fucking floodgates.
Yeah, just do it, bro. Come on, I use your shit all day, please.
All my I've seen a huge influx recently, and unfortunately, I don't know how real they are because I also get a huge influx in like the hidden requests. Like DM section.
So it's all like bots or
where
whatever.
it's just like people with like 20 followers. It says new follower, and they're just sending me reels of just like random ass videos I have no interest in watching. And they're all from India, and I'm just like, what? Like, okay, these numbers are fake.
Yeah.
Mark bought some numbers in India or something.
Right.
Like they're all like coming to me for whatever reason.
I mean,
sure. Like
send me all the bots you want as long as that
if the number goes up. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is great, but like,
but it's not. It's tangible.
It's not an actionable number.
Right. Yeah.
Like
I don't. I'd rather have
trust that
like
monetization.
less ones that I know are all interacting.
Yeah.
Although I say that, but it's like based on the way people sell things and the way brands look at things, like you just need to have that number look big. So
that's all it is.
Send me all the fucking bots you want. I don't really care.
Bring on the bots.
Yeah. The latest one I had seen, I DM'd you when I saw it a couple weeks ago, and you were doing crowd work, and this chick just goes, "Are you red dot or feather?"
Oh yeah,
and he was like, God damn!
But that was all right. So it wasn't crowd work. What had happened? That was Salt Lake City. It was earlier. It was last year. I was on stage, literally 3 minutes into the show, and I'm warming up for the special taping. Basically, I think it was a few months before I taped the special, and I was like figuring out what I wanted to open with, what kind of material, like which set of jokes I was going to open with for the special, and I think I'd opened with like. What I ended up the special was like opening with like a very Indian heavy thing, asserting my Indianness more or less. And this woman is like stage left, she's drunk, and she looks white, and she's like, "I have a question." I'm like, "Bro, it's too early."
Yeah, we're not doing Q&A yet.
It's like that's
save it for after class.
Yeah. But she's just like, "Are you red dot or feather?" And I was like, what year is this?
The fuck?
What year are you asking this? And I
a pretty ridiculous.
Ridiculous
I think we
question.
can guess.
Yeah, all the Cherokees named Nimesh Patel.
Patel is like it's the one.
There's Indians. There's other Indian people in the room. It's not like I know Utah is a white ass place, but like there's other Indians around, and they're all from India. Like Utah, Salt Lake City is quickly becoming one of these like towns where like a lot of yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. When you said Salt Lake City, I was like, that's a pretty white crowd.
No, Salt Lake City is I think there's like a bunch of back office operations, like one of Golden's back office operations are there. Like they're having a lot of software companies do back office and engineering there. But the way she asked it, it was kind of innocuous, but also like she was too drunk too early in the show. Yeah. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like
you gotta ease into that.
Yeah, you ease into that question. The whole crowd was like, God damn, we're racist, but not up immediately.
Usually like 45 minutes in you can do that.
And then I think she was like white and blonde, but like streaky blonde. And I think one of her friends like, she's drunk, and she's like, I'm native. I was like, well, I didn't want to make an insult. Like, well, obviously, one of those go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like that's where you're gonna do it. That's where my head was going. And then like I don't know how I disarmed her. I don't remember how I disarmed her, but she eventually got up like crying and like left.
Really?
Yeah. She was like it was too early to be that drunk. It might have been the early show. Like, bro, you were fucked up.
Yeah. Dude, that reminds me of Akash's latest special. When have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
He has this woman. It's right in the front of the crowd. It's an Indian man and a white woman. And he's like, "Where did you guys meet?" Like white blonde haired woman, and she's like, "Muzz match."
Oh yeah.
I heard about this bit.
And she just ended up being I forget where she was from, but she was albino. And I was like, I remember watching that special, and I was like, "This is insane."
But those are the moments, man. Like I think
she was Pakistani.
I'm always impressed and stunned. It never ceases to amaze me how many of those moments you guys stumble into. Like every time there's somebody who's like, "Wow, this is a moment." You know?
It's the law of large numbers. You know, you do enough things. You'll
find an albino Pakistani.
You know, it just happens. You know, it's like in the last 3 years, I've probably done like 1,000 shows.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's just like
do you still have to deal with
happens
like when you post something like that? Obviously, that's an extreme example, but like when you post crowd work, if it's crazy enough, are people like plant? Do people still say that kind of stuff?
People will be like on TikTok, I see that a lot. People
Really?
Like, this is planted. This is planted. I'm just like, first of all, it's not. Second of all, what do you think? Do you think a comedian is also running like some kind of weird production casting call?
That happens to us all the time too. I'm like, you think we're sitting around writing these scripts to come up with these storylines and shit? Like
who the fuck?
If I could do that, we would be doing that.
Right. Like the level of production required to have that dance happen that well.
I was gonna say this girl is acting perfectly drunk and asking the most ridiculous question. The conversation is perfectly natural. Yeah, we're gonna win an Academy Award.
Never happens.
But
it's not even. If I could do it well, I would. But it's an impossible task, and I'm barely doing the show.
Right.
Right.
Jesus Christ! Like, thank you for thinking so highly of me.
Right.
I could coordinate all this, have it timed perfectly.
Are there people? Do people do plants though?
I don't know. There's probably some comics, and I won't name names on camera, that are like within the comedy community, like that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Every video is perfectly scripted, and you've never lost.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, bro. All
right. With random people, I always think where I'm like, how much do you need to see? Like what the world's giving you, what the internet's giving you is like, look into the world. And I'm like, how much do you need to see to just see that the world's insane?
Yeah, true.
Like everything is like this is fake, this is fake, this is fake. No, it's real, and I couldn't have faked this if I wanted to.
Right.
I hear you, I get that, but like he said, there are sometimes I wouldn't put it past people. People will do anything to make it. You know what I mean?
For sure, but
so
but like at this stage in our lives, and I think most people who are on like. You've done a lot.
Yeah.
And rarely have you ever run into a person who did.
Yeah. I mean, we get it all the time.
There's one or two occasionally that you have a suspicion about, all that stuff. But like, we've talked to thousands of comedians. No one's ever done it.
That felt like she lost a bet. You know what I mean? Like she was like, I'm going to do this right away.
Yeah. But, which is also like, that could be, I'm sure there are people who are like, I'm going to go in today and I'm going to get on camera. But that's not a plant. You know,
that's just something that happens. And it's the funniest shit to me is the stuff that I've never put on tape. Some things that have happened like in an audience where like I'm like, damn, I wish I had that on camera.
Oh, I was gonna say, why don't you? You said
just like missed the moment.
Got it.
Like didn't have a camera going. I'm from here on, I'm probably not gonna have camera ever again. I just like hate the whole clip process now.
Yeah.
And hopefully the special does enough where I can just sell tickets without having to put clips up constantly.
Yeah.
But there's been moments where just like organically something insane happened, and I'm like, wow, well, that was a fucking beautiful moment. I wish I had that on camera, but I didn't capture it. And on the flip, like 9 times out of 10, an interaction with an audience member is like the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah. Like, why am I doing this? This sucks.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
This led nowhere.
Well, of course. It's like, I'm talking to a drunk amateur.
Yeah.
Like I'm the professional. You are a drunk idiot.
Yes.
Like, of course it's not going to go well.
Like my favorite, I did this joke on the first, and thank you, China, but this is a true story. I was in Indianapolis, and it was during Halloween, so I was making fun of a few people. I made fun of Jesus Christ. Some literal priest got up and was like very mad. I was like, every knee shall bow. And I just said, it's like Jesus' gay ass dick or something. And he stormed out. And I was like, fuck, like, why didn't I have my camera at that point? There's so many moments. Like, for every moment you see that happens on a clip, like there's probably like 1,000 that never happened.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. You know I bet more often than not, it's you didn't get it on camera rather than you got like a fake thing on camera.
But don't you like just run the fucking camera? And then you don't have to make the clip, but if you get the big moment.
Well, sometimes I don't have the camera. Sometimes the audio's fucked up. Sometimes like it just doesn't make me look good.
Right.
To have there's I've put up a few where I'm just like the audience has clearly won.
I like that too, though. Like I remember
it made me laugh in the moment. I'm having a good time on stage, and I'm just like
I think that's more interesting to me. I remember Jim Norton had a series where he just posted his bombs, and it's like I like this too. You gotta be cool enough to post your L's as well.
If I take an L and it's funny, then I'll take the L and it'll be funny. Like,
what was that priest deal? Like, what was he?
He was. I mean,
if you walk into a club as a priest, you're like, I'm probably gonna catch a stray here.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see him as a priest. Like, I didn't see him.
But I just meant like his belief system.
Oh yeah,
someone's
God
gonna make fun
is probably
of Jesus.
gonna come up.
Yeah. I was going pretty hard on Christianity at the time.
Christianity's catching these hands. I think we've earned that one. Yeah.
And I was making fun of Hinduism, but I was like, well, Christianity is also a viable target, and if I'm gonna give it to my own people, then I'll give it to Christians too. And he was very upset. Like,
I don't care what the topic is. If you go to a comedy show and you storm out of a comedy show, you are the biggest loser alive.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
What like
and also like, bro, just turn the other cheek. That's your whole
that's
shit.
Your jam. That's your fucking jam, dude.
How priestly can you be if you're that upset about someone just saying something?
Was he in the frock?
No, I think his people that he was with were like, oh, he's like a pastor or whatever.
Yeah, but dude, guess what?
Priest pastor difference.
If you're not in the collar,
that doesn't count.
You're not a real one.
Yeah.
If you're not wearing the collar 24/7, dude, you're not real. You're fucking. What? You're one of those cool preachers? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
What are you wearing, like a hoodie? Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy.
He was mad.
I saw a video of a chick on a plane the other day. It was delayed, and she turned to the person behind her and said, "Can you film this?" And she stood up and she's like, I know this is like terrible right now, but I just want to take this time to tell you to repent because Lord Jesus Christ is your savior. And there were just people like all across the plane going, no, stop. It was like watching people unite, like Jewish, black, white, Indian, whatever, being like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, if someone brings their religion onto a plane and makes it known. Oh man!
No. And the way
crash. No. You better pray we don't crash, lady, because that's what I'm praying for. Shut the fuck up.
There was that one a while ago. I want to say maybe it was 2 years ago, and it was like I don't know, some kind of Jesus camp, whatever, coming home on like a Southwest flight, and I think it was in the air when like one of the girls got her guitar.
They started singing,
and they started singing, and I was like, I would lose my like I'm in the middle of Olympus Has Fallen right here. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm watching a fucking action movie at 30,000 feet. This is
you're ruining my experience.
This is like something my ancestors dreamed of. I'm moving 800 miles an hour right now, watching Gerard Butler stab a guy in the head, and I gotta fucking deal with this.
You're ruining my vibe.
You should have chartered your inner devil.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
What's that shirt you're wearing?
This?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my dad.
Oh,
that's 2 coworkers, and that's Tretch from Naughty by Nature.
At
his liquor store.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. This is from 93 or 94.
That's a great shirt, man.
Thank you very much, man. It's my doing podcast hoodie.
Naughty by Nature rolls up in your store in 93. That's like a big fucking deal.
They were.
That's like prime hip hop hooray, right?
I mean, Tretch is from East Orange. That's where my dad's store was. That was hip hop hooray, OPP, all that shit.
Yeah.
That was that era, and he came through. And I have a bit about this too, but I mean, it's nonetheless true. My dad came home, was like, do you know OPP? I'm like, do you know? What the fuck you know about OPP?
I do, but why do you? How old were you then?
93, I was 7.
Yeah, I mean, like right around there.
Yeah.
Like, which is, I always think funny because it's like, he should know OPP more than you should have known OPP.
Yeah, like, I'm telling mom, bro. You should know other people's pussy.
I think about the
Is that what OPP stands for?
Oh, yeah.
Other people's pussy.
Other people's pussy?
Other people's pussy.
Other
It's not
people's
like
pussy.
fucking like somebody's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Other people's penis. I think about like, because like 92.3 is like West Coast gangster rap, fucking like bad lyrics for a 7 and 8 year old.
Oh yeah, it's NWA.
Yeah, like
right at the start of that shit. And luckily, like my dad knew well enough not to bring home like every CD that came into the store.
Yeah,
but I would get like hip hop compilation albums because he would bring them home. And I'd be like, "Oh, this is fucking hard shit, right?"
I was 7 years old.
7 years old. Like,
I remember the first like rap CD I really ever got was Legal Drug Money from Lost Boys, and I was like probably 8 years old.
I got the first one I got.
What my parents doing?
I got
What's
my
going on
parents
here?
let me buy Dragon's first album. I don't know if you remember Dragon,
Yeah.
but he
Rough-
was
he was
a Rough
DMX's,
Riders, the
like-
DMX crew.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, it was like DMX Jr.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the next like
Yeah.
one.
I think that was my first.
DMX.
I got
you got it at Easter, right?
I got for Easter in my Easter basket. I got Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. And
What a fucking Easter album.
Dude,
right?
you want to know how crazy it was? Like I probably wasn't still young enough to believe in the Easter Bunny, but my mom was still doing the stuff that like
the basket. and all
she
that.
wasn't ready to accept the fact that I didn't.
Uh-huh.
So like she would have you know how like ladies have their powder and shit like that. She would take her powder thing and she would make it look like a
little
bunny
like a
prince.
bunny prince.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I had bunny prints leading to my
DMX cover.
my Easter basket, which contained DMX, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood.
Oh my!
And I was like, yeah, these two
It's probably about time for
mentalities
that.
and these two maturity levels line up.
if you're old enough to be listening to that, it's probably a wrap for the Easter Bunny.
that is wild. I mean, I could Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, and It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Like I can see how a mom would think these are probably good, strong Christian albums.
I think about that all the time. Like
he's covered in Jesus' blood.
there was probably like a Christmas in the early 90s. And I remember, at that point it was just CDs on CDs on CDs. And I probably got, ranging from like a Tupac CD to like the Boys to Men album.
Mhm.
And my parents must have been like, what the fuck is wrong with this?
Range.
You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
got range.
what? And the clothes I was wearing and shit. Like,
Oh, you were all about the.
well, that was like a little later, but by like 7th, 8th grade, high school, I'm wearing like, Rockaware and Sean John and all this shit. It's like,
we're the same guy.
and yeah, right. At least you look the part a little bit more now. Like, when it came time, I was mostly buying that shit for myself, but when it came time for Christmas, it was a sweater or something that was too expensive. And I'm pretty sure, I'm like this, even my mom having to go to those stores, she was probably like, what the fuck is this, bro?
Here comes Kevin's mom again.
Dude, I had a FUBU shirt. I wore one like a FUBU like jersey, like a football jersey.
Yeah.
It was powder blue. It had like yellow letters on it, whatever. I was probably in 7th grade. Wore it to school. My buddy, who was black, was like, "I'm gonna buy that for me for $20." And I took it off, and I was like, "Deal." And I gave it to him, and he was like, "I'm not giving you $20."
But I just did you a favor. Trust me.
Yeah.
Reef. We all know the brand Reef. Every single person. I would venture to guess close to every single American knows the brand Reef. You know it as what the cool guys wear, who you hope to be like one day, the surfers, all that stuff. They have made flip-flops cool and kept them cool for 40 years. Born from surfing, Reef has grown into a huge lineup of ridiculously comfortable sandals and shoes too. They've elevated their game. You probably remember some of Reef's print ad from the 90s, but there's way more going on with Reef these days. Reef started in 1984 and has been living the dream for the past 40 years. Their most iconic product, of course, the fanning sandal, complete with a working bottle opener on the bottom. If you're going to be drinking beers on the beach this summer, you got to be the guy with the Reef sandal, because at some point of the bonfire, at some point of the beach picnic, whatever you want to call it, hanging on the beach, someone's going to go, "Yo, anyone have a bottle opener?" And you get to go, "Got one right here, brother." But beyond that, Reef also makes products a full lineup of stylish, super technical sandals and shoes like the Cruiser Slide, Phantom 2.0 sandal, and the Swell Sole Neptune shoe. To get 15% off your first order over $49, go to reef.com/KFC Radio. That's reef.com/KFC Radio and use promo code KFC Radio 15. That's reef.com/KFC Radio and use promo code KFC Radio 15. Jackpocket. I'm humming on my Jackpocket. Let's see what the Jackpocket mega deals are at. Let's see where Mega Millions is. Where's my Jackpocket app? Where the fuck is this thing? I'm gonna type it in. I've had a very hard time finding apps lately. Okay, Jackpocket. Bang, there it is. Jackpocket, you could try it. You can try Jackpocket, the all-in-one lottery app. Easily order lottery tickets, get your notifications for upcoming drawings and any winnings, all from your phone on the Jackpocket app. Jackpocket lets you order Powerball, Mega Millions, even state games like Cash for Life, Pick 3, Pick 4. You got all of it here. Powerball is at $93 million. Cash for Life, $1,000 per day, of course. Mega Millions, 110. We're going to order one of those. We're going to order a Mega Millions ticket. Place order. Confirm. Order successful. Done, diddy, done. I'm in the game now, so you can get in the game. You can join us by downloading the app to see what state games are available for you to enjoy. Even better, you get $5 off your first lottery order with code KFC at checkout. That's code KFC for your first ticket for free. You get a ticket for free, and the ticket is for a contest that might give you $110 million. Go to the app, use code KFC, first ticket for free, only on Jackpocket.
I had fake FUBU because my dad's store. They would come in and like sell us shit. So my dad was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get the fake FUBU." And I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then you see it on the back. They still got like the fake print part. They didn't bother ripping the stuff off.
Yeah.
That embroidery part.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Because I got a fake Tommy Hilfiger hoodie. And I made the mistake of telling what I thought was like a close friend. I was like, I didn't even understand it was like bootleg. I was kind of like, oh, there's this place over in Co-op City that like sells them like cheaper, whatever my parents told me to be like, here's the fake shit,
Right.
And he just went and told like everybody. And that's like a core memory for me, being like, for like a split second, the only time in my life ever that I was like, oh, I'm like the poor kid, like who everyone was making fun of. I was like, this sucks. This fucking sucks, dude. I remember being like, you betrayed me. I told you that in confidence.
I had no one knew what I was wearing. They were just like, oh, that's cool. Because I was just like, I was the kid whose dad worked in the black neighborhood, so I was getting all this black shit.
Yeah.
But I wear it to my white ass school full of Indian kids and white kids. They're like, oh, FB.
But it was a liquor store, your dad. You said, yes.
You
but
worked
at
at that liquor
like,
store too, right?
No.
You didn't?
My parents did not let me. It was in an awful neighborhood, and I was also a teenager when my dad's store's heyday, and then once I went to college, it was like, there's no reason for me to work there.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful I didn't. In that, I probably
it's not a great
it's not a great environment.
Well, you still ended up cooking crack. So.
Yeah. I went a few times. I would spend like a Saturday or Sunday there.
Yeah.
But I wasn't working. I was just like hanging out, bullshitting, like talking to customers and stuff.
which is also probably bad.
Yeah. They were all cool, but no, never worked there consistently. My parents were also just like, you don't need a job. You shouldn't be working right now. You need to understand the value of school.
Yeah.
I wish I understood the value of money.
Right.
Like learning about money is much more important.
How did they accept the comedy route?
Well, I mean, they were, when I started in 2009, comedy in the Indian community, at least at that time, was just Russell Peters. Aziz hadn't blown up yet. Hassan was barely doing comedy. But so they were ignorant of what it meant to do stand-up. Like they knew what it was. Like you go on stage and you make people laugh, but they were just like, do you make money doing this?
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I'm paying to do open mics. Yeah. And they were just like, why? And I was like, I don't know why I'm doing it. I couldn't articulate. I felt compelled to make people laugh, and I was going through a depression because I had very high expectations for myself as a pre-med finance grad, and neither one of those things played out, and that's somehow subconsciously making me want to go on stage and let people know how I feel. That was never articulated. It was just like, leave me alone. I'm going to go do stand-up comedy. But they were just like, okay, well, if this is something you're doing, then pay rent. Like, you can live at home, but we're paying for your bus tickets to go to Jersey. Like, I mean, to go to New York. Like, why would, it's a lot of money. It's $300-$400 a month. Yeah. Plus you got to eat when you're in the city. Like,
your weight.
Yeah. We paid for you to go to school. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And so once I got a job in finance, they were really like, okay, well, if this is something you're going to be doing, just get good at it.
Where did you work in finance?
I worked 3 different jobs. I worked as a research assistant at a hedge fund for about 8 months before they were like, well, he clearly doesn't want to do finance. Because I was telling the story yesterday to somebody where it's just like, I remember very clearly when I knew I was going to get fired from the hedge fund job, because it was like a company outing at like a restaurant, and I had started a show on Monday nights that started at 8:30, and the company outing, and the company was in Irvington, New York. So like it took me an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to Williamsburg. I was like, dinner got served. I ate dinner and I was like, I'm out. All right, Ron, I gotta go. And everyone was looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like a 10-15 person shop. So they're like,
your absence was noticed.
Exactly. And he's looking at me like, all right. And within like a few weeks, I was fired.
Really?
And that was my first job I got outside of college. That was like a full-time job. I was a research assistant at a hedge fund. And then from there, I told myself, next place I end up, I'm gonna let them know I do stand-up, so that if I'm leaving at 6, they're not like pissed.
Yeah.
And that was the second shop was a boutique investment bank, which, mind you, they were the first company I told I do stand up. In 2021, they invited me to perform at their 20th anniversary.
I was gonna say, like that back then. It's whatever. I could see it working against you. Maybe it's okay. I feel like now, if you could do both, you could probably crush.
Yeah.
Because the comedy world, the finance world, like does love that shit now. And if you could be like, I work for these guys, but I'll also do these corporate events, and you'll see me out, and like I
not a bad
close
idea.
deals. Like for real. I mean, like if you're in a field of finance where it's like, we can give our business here or there, and there's a top comic over here who will like do a show and fuck around. You should get back in the game, bro.
Yeah, I might. You never know. So that job, that was like for a year and change, but that led to a lot of opportunities, like even outside directly from that job, because the founder was a fan of comedy and a fan of like one of the comedians that I didn't know, but was like, you know this guy? And I was like, sure. And that ended up, this Maz Jobrani ended up like opening for him a few times, doing guest spots at Caroline's. That led to me like going on the road with him for a few shows.
So that company is kind of part of your story.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great. 100%.
And then they had like I think a year and a half in, they had like a not great year, and I was like the last person in, so I was the first person out. And then I went to a family office that was running money for 2 billionaires to like invest in sub-Saharan Africa, and I just joined as a executive assistant at the investment bank. I was an assistant at 26 years old to a bunch of 22-year-old bankers. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, shut the fuck up. I'm not doing that. Or just like, yeah, sure, I'll take your receipts and submit them to the accounting and all that kind of stuff. It was just like a fun dynamic that I had, because the associates and the VPs were all my age.
Right.
Like the new associates were all 26, 27 years of age, and they were just like, I was just covering them too, and they're just like, "What's going on, bro?" It was a fun vibe,
So wait, were you ever like doing, when you were doing like research? Were you like making picks and like?
No.
You were always just kind of doing like work.
At the hedge fund, the head PM, I had lied to get the job.
Hell yeah!
I told them that I helped invest in my family's motel. Like my dad at the time, like was like a 1/5 partner in like this podunk ass town motel.
There's a kernel of truth, bro.
Yeah, and that didn't do well at all. He should not have invested in that in the first place. But I lied and said that I helped evaluate the decision, all this kind of stuff. And so the head PM put me on covering Marriott, Hyatt hotels and like those hotel names, like from a hedge fund perspective. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, bro. You want me to build these models or like help the models and like pull data in and put the make predictions on what's going to happen to revenue? Like within months, it was like it all kind of unraveled.
Yeah.
But the job was at that time, like to help print research and aggregate reports and all this kind of stuff for the analysts and stuff. With the research with the investment bank, it was just help PowerPoints, literally like bind books, help like adjust PowerPoints, find some information if they needed it,
all that dumb
set
shit.
up like rooms for pitches and all that.
Yeah.
At the family office, that's when I was like, okay, well, I think I could have some opportunity for growth here. It was like a 6-person shop. I joined as a executive assistant to the CEO, but I was also just like, look, I think if I can have a work-life balance where I can still go do comedy and stand up and open mics and all that stuff, but help with actual like investment decisions and help like do.
Dude, that's the dream. That's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Even just from a point of view of like so many people at that point in their comedy career is like sleeping on couches and like, can't afford food. It's like to have a regular life basically.
Exactly.
While you fund I kind of did that with blogging, and it was a lot easier to like do that because I was like, I could just do this forever. I hope it goes differently, but if this money keeps coming in and I keep like, we're all good,
There's nothing more freeing than having a day job.
Yeah, in a weird way.
If you're pursuing something else, like that, like if your day job doesn't fully consume,
right.
Your
it has to be
brain,
like the perfect, setup. But if you get that, I remember like I respect anybody who will take their balls in their hand and make that leap and like no safety net. I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
But like I kind of worked it so that I never had to do that, and I was like, I recommend that way.
That's a much
it's a lot better way.
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
The stars have to fucking align, but if you do, it's like, this is great.
It was like a dream role.
Yeah.
In the sense like I was finally making like decent money, nothing crazy, but not executive assistant money, but not like I wasn't like getting insane bonuses or anything like that. But I was like making decent money.
If you're in that world at all, you're making
And so I was looking at investment decisions. I got to go to Africa a bunch of times. I went to Kenya twice. I went to Ghana once or twice. I went to South Africa twice to like kick the cans on potential investment decisions. And it was just me and like the CEO of a African startup, of a Kenyan startup, of a Nairobi like Instacart, like all these kind of random things that I got to do and see the world in that way. That's
really fucking cool.
It was dope. It was a wild to be like a 26-year-old in business class. Like, like,
I remember, bro.
I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
I remember being in. I went to Fordham for my MBA, and but I did it right out of undergrad, so I was very young, and I was showing up in like flip flops and fucking shorts, like dicking around, and there were guys coming in.
Looking like
family men. What?
Looking like Michael Berry.
yeah. And they, had not only were like just came off like their job for 10 hours and then this for 3 hours, and then we're gonna go home to like 3 kids and a wife and all this shit. And I was like rolling, what's up, fellas? Like I still got a buzz on from last night. Like I was playing beer pong, like all this dumb shit. I mean, they used to shoot daggers at me, man. And it was like I found it easy. It was like I was in school mode. So like I actually found grad school at Fordham to be easier than the undergrad. So I was like cruising through things, and they're trying to get back into academic mode. It's hard for them. And I was like, they fucking hated me.
Yeah, of course. I'm in sweats.
Yeah. Oh, man. It was
looking like a CIA guy on army base. Yeah. Like, I don't have to do any of your fucking shit, man. I have graduated out of that.
Right. It was dope. Yeah. But that ended. Turns out like making investment decisions in for Africa from New York City is a very difficult thing to do. Yeah. And so that ended. I knew that was ending in July of 2015, and that was the same month I got rejected from Montreal for the festival for another time. That was the month that like Chris Rock saw me at Matchless, the show that I was running. That had just started running when I got my first internship. Not internship, my first job at that hedge fund. That show at that point had become like one of the best shows in New York. Michael Che and Mike Denny and myself, we ran that show. And it was a massive show by that point, by like independent show standards. Langston Kerman was coming. performing, and Chris was coming to see Langston, and I was like, well, I'm going up.
Sorry, bud.
Because Chris is going to leave after Langston goes up, so I'm going up before you. Sorry, brother. And I went up and I did well enough that Chris found me funny, and that coincided with the rejection from Montreal, but also that family office, that Africa job ending. That job was ending within 6 months. The family office, like, we're closing down. This is not a money-making venture for us. You guys flying to Africa too many times on business class.
Trips to Nairobi apparently aren't. It's not like taking a Greyhound to Jersey, you know. Yeah.
And that ended in January of 2016, which is right when my first writing job by Chris was writing for the Oscars.
Oh, no shit.
Sick.
And that was just like,
so that set got you, like, he was like,
that set
handpicked you.
One set. Maybe even one joke.
Wow.
It was right after Cecil the Lion had been killed or whatever, and I was like, I remember pissing in the bathroom thinking about, what can I say about Cecil the Lion? I was like, why do we care about lions? Like, I had 4 chickens today. Like, no, and no one laughed except Chris Rock.
Really?
And you know Chris Rock. Like that, you know, you can see him and hear him. Yeah. Like, yeah, you're wrong because he's laughing.
And that was it.
How does it show when you say, like, it got massive? Like, how's that happen?
So we started it. Mike Denny started it. Mike Denny was a comedian, now producer for Griselda, West Side Gun, and Conway the Machine.
Yeah.
Like, he was like a musical savant even then.
What a path that is. That's sick.
You know the Pepto Bismol jingle?
Oh yeah.
He wrote that jingle.
No way.
And the legend has it that he was just in the pitch room, and they were like, we need to turn nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea into a jingle, and he just put it to a beat, like, in his head, and it was like, nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea, and that was it.
Bro, that guy's probably gonna pay his, like, grandkids college with that.
I think he got like $50,000 as a tape for that.
Man, that's one of those things you could cash that in forever if you had the right business.
And that, if you could pull up the original version of that jingle, is like a hip hop version of that jingle.
Really?
Yeah. And so he started comedy, I forget when, maybe like right around the same time I did, 2009, 2010. But Che and I were at Knitting Factory one night, Hannibal's show, and Denny used to help, like, produce, like, put flyers and all this kind of stuff up.
And you and Che were just, like, coming up at the same time?
Che and I started at the same time. Yeah. He started like 4 months after me. But we were at Knit one night, and we both did well, I guess. And Denny was like, yo, I like you guys. You guys are great. Like, you guys want to start a show together? I have this room. And Che and I both like, yeah, I mean, free stage time. Like, what's better than that? Like, it's important to have your own place where you can just fuck around constantly. Mm-hmm. And Denny,
what room was that?
What's that?
So, what club was that?
Knitting Factory is where he saw us.
Right.
But Denny found, like, this lounge underneath a place called the Sandbox, which is like this independent shipping center. And the basement had been converted to, like, an illegal, like, speakeasy hangout kind of spot.
That's cool, yeah.
But you had to, like, bring your own booze and you could just chill. And we're like, let's start a show there. And Denny invited myself and Che to, like, be co-hosts / like, regular comedians on the show. And once that venue kind of, like, was giving us too many problems, more or less, Denny found another spot called Matchless, which is now gone, but it was a bar at Nassau and Driggs that had a back room, like a beautiful venue for independent comedy. It's like a rock venue with, like, the best food.
But so at that point, people are just like, they like the three of you and they follow you wherever you go.
Sorry, I'm getting long-winded response to your question. It's just like, we just were very consistent. When we started, it was like 5 people would show up, and 4 of them would be comedians, you know, like, hoping to get stage time in front of the other comedians, the kind of thing. But eventually, because it was a free show, word spread, and then Che's, like, star rose within, like, 2 years of us having that show. Like, 2011, I guess, is, like, a good time to estimate that we started that show. 2013, he did Letterman, and a few months after that, he was writing at SNL.
Really?
And that kind of was, like, word of mouth about him having the show kind of spread, and I'm sure you could tie it to his star rising. In a large part was his star rising brought a lot of people to the show, but also, like, we were there consistently every Monday
I'll do
at 8 to 9 o'clock. Like
Dude, whatever it is, it's just about doing it.
We just did it.
Keep doing it. When you're getting like 3 views on your video, fucking keep doing it. When there's 2 people in the audience, keep doing it.
We built it and they came. It was literally that, you know. Yeah. And in our heyday,
so many people give up. Like so, it's like the people, even if it's not that good, it's like, but if you just keep going, 90% are not gonna. So you'll be the last man standing.
Just kept going.
Yeah.
Like there were shows that it was like 7 people there, and I went up on. It became a show where we started co-hosting and then triple hosting and then like one person hosting. And there was nights where it was like 10 people and it was like the best fucking show. Those 10 people had the greatest time.
Right.
I remember one night, I think Che was closing it out, and there was a guy sitting stage left who looked like familiar but like kind of strange, like a strung out kind of dude. And Che's like, anyone ever tell you look like Jesse Camp? It was Jesse Camp, the MTV VJ, who was just hanging out at the show.
That was like the tall, like
weird looking guy. And then him and Jesse went up and like started bullshitting together. I was like, this is fucking nuts, dude. Like, what a show. This is
a plant. That was a plant.
It was that kind of show, you know? And that was on a night where it was like 10, 15 people.
That's like the romantic side of like New York City comedy where I think about those things. It's like, and then this guy showed up and then that guy. Like those are where those things start.
Yep.
Do you have a moment like when you sign this Netflix deal or whatever, like, do you have a moment where you kind of just like take it all in where you're like, fuck, like 2011, we were like performing a 4 guys.
I wish I were more nostalgic. And
it's not even nostalgia though, but it's just like
the Oscars must have been a pretty good one, right?
That was by the time I got the Netflix deal, the Netflix offer, I was kind of like, what took you so long?
Cocky with it. Yeah.
But when I got I remember exactly where I was when I got the call that I was doing the Oscars. That I was writing for Chris for the Oscars. It was like I was walking down 4th Avenue in Brooklyn to my apartment, and my phone rang. It was my manager at the time, and she was like, "I just got a call from Oscar Albert, some guy, the EP of the Oscars. Chris Rock wants you to write for the Oscars." Like, the fuck?
This is the wrong number. Like, they got me mixed up with another Patel or something.
And she was like, "No, I'm serious. Like, they're gonna send the offer in very soon. It should be in your email in the next few hours." I'm like, "What the fuck,
dude?" If you're lucky enough to have it happen, because not everybody is. If you're lucky enough to ever be in over your head with like something good in a good way, like I am not qualified for this, or like it's too early for that. It's pretty fun to like try to stumble your way through it.
Yeah,
like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but we'll figure it out. You know?
I remember I bolted home. I was already very close. My wife's like cooking dinner or some shit or making food or whatever, and I come out, open them, like, guess what? You won't believe.
Like, no fucking way.
I was like, I am writing for the Oscars. Chris Rock said I'm playing. And that like a few days later was the New York Comedy Festival, Comedy Central. After party, and myself, Michelle Wolf, who also got the job, and Langston Kerman were all there, and we all like saw each other, and we had one of these like I was very clear. Remember thinking, what a fucking moment for us it was. Like I remember there are moments where I'm like taking it all in, like, and I'm trying to get better at appreciating everything that I've been able to do. Like my sister yelled at me because I sent her a preview of the special, and she was like, "This is amazing." I was like, "Yeah, on to the next one." And she called me. She's like, "You better fucking appreciate where you're at. Do you understand? Your name is on Netflix." I'm like,
it's good. It's a good.
I gotta get better.
I mean,
at it.
it's
I'm
good
not
too.
Good at it, but
I actually think it's probably better to err on your side, where it's like don't rest on your laurels and just keep going. But there was something recently I texted you. Do you remember? I was like, I take this job for granted. I
remember the text.
But it was like, I was with this person at this place talking about this thing, and I was just like, it was just this day at work. And I was like, wait
but
a
I
minute,
think,
that was pretty cool.
I think that works. I think the three of us all have a similar mentality. And I think like that is also good. To be like, I think the three of us again are lucky to be surrounded by like extraordinarily successful people. So you're like, yeah, what I did is impressive. You're right, but like my best friend's doing better.
Yeah,
so, like,
exactly.
And I'm happy for them, and like their wins are my wins. But like that's still my goal too.
Yeah,
right. Like I still want to get
keeps
there.
you going.
I think a lot of it is just like my expectations are so high for myself because like I who I am, but also like I've seen my peers and my friends like do incredible things.
Right.
And I'm like, that means I know the part of me feels like I can also do those things.
Totally.
Like,
I'm also, I mean, I think there's kind of two different types of people. Like, I don't ever really want to be the smartest person in the room, the funniest person in the room. Like, I'd rather be surrounded by better.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like there's probably other people who would rather not. And like, I want to be top dog. But I would always rather be like, I'm like the littlest guy here because, you know, you're learning more.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
I'm both. Like, I want to be the top dog, but I also want to be like surrounded by other top dogs.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, you want to be there, but
Yeah.
I think the way you get there though is, I mean, if you put yourself in a room with small dogs all the time, you don't get much bigger. You know what I mean? But yeah, a little healthy balance of like reminding yourself, like, yeah, I'm that motherfucker too.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to do because when I started comedy, I already thought I was the top. I thought I'm fucking shit.
The fucking guy.
And like the world will humble you if that's how
you have good years and bad. That's
the
only thing that, you know, going back to the old life. I mean, I guess in finance you could have good years and bad years, but you have your job. Whereas like, you know, 1 year your special kills and then maybe the offers dry up and you're like, well, this is a lot different, you know?
Right, yeah.
It's you know, your life can vary big time.
Humility is a hard learned lesson that I've learned many times. And that keeps me in check from being like, oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever done. You know,
I had a question. You mentioned earlier how like when you were getting going, Russell was like the only guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was the Indian comic.
Yep.
When you were coming up, did you ever have like a thought like is it my responsibility to explain the Indian American experience, or were you just like, I'm just gonna do me?
I actually,
because like he was a trailblazer, but like there's still a lot of weeds hanging off, right? Like were you like doesn't mind a chip top down? Or?
Well, I mean, I intentionally stayed away from talking about specifically Indian stuff for a variety of reasons. One, I didn't think it was that special to be an Indian guy.
Yeah.
I grew up in Jersey.
There's a couple billion of you. It's literally not.
It's like
you go to Newport, Bavonia.
Yes, but that's exactly right. Like I grew up in Jersey, surrounded by many people like me.
Right.
16 first cousins within 20 minutes of me. Like who gives a shit?
Crazy.
I didn't have the perception to be like, oh, this is
you're a novelty in Middle America.
Right.
But also I started in New York, and I was seeing other people, and I'm not a student or historian of comedy. Like I didn't have a microphone in my hand when I was 4. You know, I was like, I'm gonna be Eddie Murphy. No, it was just like, hey, something I kind of fell into. So
interesting.
When I started comedy, I was seeing people do comedy that like a Chinese guy talking about, you know, having sex with a girl. Like it wasn't I'm Chinese, this is what I like to have Chinese parents, this is what it like to be Chinese. And I was like, yeah, like there's more interesting things, and my POV is not necessarily all just Indian stuff. And then I think subconsciously I had this feeling, and I only articulated a few years ago, was like literally everything I say is Indian. You know what I mean? So like you
mean like what do you mean by that?
What I mean is
like you fell into that because you were avoiding it, but then
I said that on stage, but like I had this feeling like, why do I need to specifically talk about Indian experiences or Indian things, like or have like this Indian guy's POV about something? My point of view by default is an Indian guy's point of view of something.
Right.
And that that flipped the switch in my head in the sense like, well, yeah, I guess that's true, but there are also very uniquely Indian experiences that like you guys wouldn't understand unless I kind of explain them to you.
Right.
And that is not necessarily a responsibility. To me, it's like I'm also learning about this stuff.
Yes.
For the first time ever.
Yeah.
So if it requires me to if I'm learning something, then I'll tell you about it. But if I'm not learning something, just making fun of something, then I don't feel any responsibility to tell you about it. It's something, sorry, you don't get to know this shit, or figure it out on your own. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, that's honestly one of my favorite specials of the last 5 years or so was Ari's Jew. And I love that because I didn't know, I knew the cliff notes of Judaism, but I didn't really know like what it meant to go to rabbi school and all that kind of shit. And I was like, oh, this is fucking interesting. And he's making it really funny.
Yeah.
That I'm
there's something too though, like like I've seen like when Joe Coy will do something that's not even specifically like Asian, it's like Filipino. You know what I mean? Like he's getting down to the nitty gritty, and I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Right.
But watching the audience go nuts for it, because it is such a shared experience, I think is cool. Where it's like, I don't know what's going on, but I can tell that this hit the same way that if you made some like dumb Irish Catholic joke, we'd be like, yep, that's how it is for us. So I you know, it might be, I get what you're saying, and maybe, you know, in some ways it's like it could be a crutch or hacky or something like that, but I think there's something cool about that where it is like, I'm one of you, and like, especially if it's not as represented, like certain types of humor and certain ethnicities are like everybody knows them, but when you get to like the shit that only us know, I think that's cool.
But that's why Russell was such a instant hit with the people that watched that first special, because he was like, it was, you could tell it was, I don't know if you've seen this first special that leaked on YouTube in 2004 or whatever, but if you haven't watched it and you're not an Indian person, you're like, this is very funny just on its own. But as an Indian person and you watch it, I showed it to my parents.
Yeah, it's like times 10.
Yeah,
right? It's
it's
like,
oh, you do it like that. It's like that. And it's just a shared thing.
That relatability
you know,
is huge.
It's just a cool thing. But I never felt compelled to bring up specifically Indian things until I learned about them on my own. You know, and
until I learned that there's so many fucking of you, and if you all watch my special, it's gonna be great. That's what I'd be thinking.
Also that, for sure. Like, man, if every Patel watches this special,
you're good.
I'm good money, dude.
If a Patel tells a Patel about this, I'm good, dude.
Hell yeah, I'm straight.
I was watching.
I was just gonna say, I in high school, one of my best friends was this kid named Patel, Rohan Patel. Shout out Rohan. And I didn't, you know, he was the only Indian kid, or him and his brother, the only Indian kids in my school.
Where'd you go?
I went to like a boarding school in Rhode Island.
Okay.
He was from England, but he was Indian, and I just thought, like I just started learning about how many Patels there are very recently. I was like, wait, I thought I knew the Patel. I didn't realize that. Like,
we're everywhere, man.
It's
we run the FBI now. All right. Don't forget what you say.
Cash with a K, baby.
That's goddamn right.
There's I just saw it for the first time. I think it's something that happens every year. It goes viral. Is at graduations where there's Patels versus it was Patels for the Indians and then like Lou for Asian people or something like that, and it was like, you know, 30 of them in a row.
I had like smart people. I probably had like 40 in my high school.
Jeez,
I think I'm certain I had 40 in my high school. It might have been 40 in my graduating class, but it was some obscene number of
That is crazy.
Yeah, we were up there, and that was early. That was 2004 when I graduated. Now it's like,
forget it.
You need your own yearbook. You know, we fucking run shit. It's just what it is. It's just what it is.
That's funny. All right, man. We appreciate it, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me again.